Mama, how do you do? Hey, what's up? Baba, how do you do? Hey, what's up? Sister, how you do? Hey, what's up? Brother, how you do? Hey, what's up? Yeah, Shabab, my name is CJ Man. Yeah, Shabab, Anatani Indi Kalam. في Sudan, there is salam, there is aman. In South Sudan, there is salam, there is aman. Mana ya gali, the Junubin gali there salam. Ay, mana ya weri, the Kuluzul gali there salam. Salam fi biladi, farah yajma'na. للملأ أهلي للكريم اسمعنا سلام في بلادي فرح يا ربي يضم لي أهلي الكريم اسمعني يا سلام يا كلنا هنا سلام أينو ماما ماما يا سلام أينو جنا جنا يا سلام Salim Lumon, Baba Salim Lumon, Salim Lumon, Baba Salim Lumon. Yeah, 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 Junubin, Misihin, Muslimin, Junubin, yes, Umuatinin, Junubin, Dakata, Umuhandisin, Junubin, Musafafin, Siasin, Junubin, Muzarin, Musayadin, Junubin, للسلام بوحده وبأمان للسلام يحسين للسلام للسلام يحسين للسلام للسلام مشتاقين أنا دير سلام كلنا هنا سلام I know mama, mama, Jerusalem. I know Jana, Jerusalem. Salim Lomon, mama Salim Lomon. Salim Lomon, mama Salim Lomon. Yeah, 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 Mama, how do you do? Hey, what's up? Baba, how do you do? Hey, what's up? Sister, how you do? Hey, what's up? Brother, how you do? Hey, what's up?
Mamijana and Vivid Studio. Selector Isaka, Phantom, Best Production. What I need, you know, lady. And I believe you not to get Basai, lady. You know what I need. And I believe you not to get Basai. What I need, you know, lady. And I believe you not to get Basai, lady. You know what I need. And I believe you not to get Basai. Kina salama dola tanina mama dola adunya kulu mukele kelina salama dola tanina yakwane dola alalam kulu mukele Rabuna wadi kulu fogo kera albisibu bele galiane Rabuna wadi kulu fogo kera mama kera albisibu bele galiane kanina kobru dola de magel bagwel dola de bikundo lalkowi Ina cobra dola de madero quest, dola de mundo galgobi, you know beledi, ana beli kumba kugan batai, beledi, you know watani, ana beli kumba kugan batai, watani, you know beledi, ana beli kumba kugan batai, beledi, you know watani, ana beli kumba kugan batai. Kanisa hii mbele take kita beshtaka mkoko bekulu gemba obe amana Kanina karabu dola jeni de makera toro mabikun pes Kanina karabu bele diafa de makera toro mabikun pes Rabuna behasi bonina ya kwani kanina mafisu bele de Kabuna beha sibonina mama kanina mai nubelete Stia tabelete kanina Lulu sawa sawa Nakutu bala kanina mama Sandola de mira kwe Juno beledi Anabilibu makugel batai Beledi Juno kwatani Anabilibu makugel batai Watani Juno beledi Anabilibu makugel batai Beledi Juno watani Anabilibu makugel batai Kerata dola de ketile nina kakesimu sawa sawa bitimu Kerata bele de kifaya nina kakesimu sawa sawa bitimu Mata geni zulu muzulu mapana dola de kanina sawa Mata zulu muzulu mapana dola de kanina sawa Elifa kebirde tasunude Bekarabu daula tanena Yelwa kamade kasuno Bisiku bele kabiraba Watane juno beledi Anabeli kumakugel batai Beledi juno watane Anabeli kumakugel batai Watane juno beledi Anabeli kumakugel batai Beledi juno watane Anabeli
Ashana celebrate, Julio, Kalina celebrate, Ashana celebrate, Julio, Kalina celebrate. You mother, Mary Savia, Permil Kabir, you mother, Mary Savia, Permil Kabir, Nagila, Dopenati, Mama, Penati, Market, Penati, Unaka, Kule, Sijimanati, Cook, Ashana celebrate, Julio, Kalina celebrate, Ashana celebrate, Julio, Kalina celebrate. Belia, Matisawi, Mula, Kamba, Basida, Babra, Sida, Babra, Liga, Basida, Babra, Nandi, Parjan, Benati, Ukenda, Abdullah, Sis, Benati, Agenda, Ukule, Korea, Benati, Bango, Ashana celebrate, Julio, Kalina celebrate, Ashana celebrate, Julio, Kalina celebrate. Salvador, je m'installe à Kala, Abido, Daniel, Bekole, Salvador, Yable, Parabigal, Anadani, Mabekole, Yaputa, Kalita, Kumino, Yashaba, Kalita, Kunja, Yaude, Haki, Ajibanaleko, I mean, Yaude, Kori, Ajibanaleko, Namsuku, Matala, Mobe, Namsuku, Kawi, Matala, Mobe, Ashana celebrate, Julio, Kalina celebrate, Ashana celebrate, Julio, Kalina celebrate.
Hello, dear viewers of Nile Nation Network. I would say it's a pleasure to see you again. Our show, it's happening here every Saturday from 7 p.m., and this is Pacific time. We are, I think, at the end of the uh, Earth here, uh, or the last continent here. So um, I would like to welcome you all, and it's good to uh, join us today. Please share the video of today with the rest of friends. We're gonna have a very interesting topic today. Very interested, and the topic is going to be really we're going to be talking about women abuse in South Sudan. But anyway, you can come and defer with us, and if you don't see that is happening there, then you can make your argue right there. But today's show, we kind of dedicated it really for women and to be in solidarity with the women of South Sudan. Of course, we are in solidarity with all the women in the world, but we make it especially for these special ladies of South Sudan today. We want to stand with them and be in solidarity with them today. Of course, this show also you can speak Arabic if you want to. We are allowed to speak two languages here. You can speak also express yourself in Arabic, no problem at all. مرحب بكم مشاهدي آه، شبكة النيل الوطنية. مرحب بكم. احنا طبعا الشو العرض بتاعنا احنا بنقدمه كل يوم السبت الساعة 7 بتوقيت المحيط الهادي. احنا في آخر الدنيا هنا زي ما بيقولوا، لكن التواصل المواقع التواصل الاجتماعي بيخلينا زي دولة صغيرة. يعني في ناس بيشاركونا من استراليا، من كل أنحاء العالم. فعايزين نقول لك شارك فيديو بتاع النهاردة. والموضوع اللي احنا هنتكلم عنه النهاردة موضوع قيم جدا، واحنا يعني عايزين وقفة تضامنية مع أخواتنا في جنوب السودان. وطبعا والموضوع طبعا عايزين نتكلم عنه انه الاهانات اللي بتحصل لسيدات جنوبيات، او الاهانه اللي بتحصل لسيدات من جنوب السودان. فعايزينكم يعني تعال شارك معنا، سواء كان انت مشارك معنا في الراي او مختلف معنا في الراي، ما في مشكله. تعال ادلي برأيك، ما في مشكلة. And of course, I know there is few of the panelists here already, and there is few more to come. And I would like to say hi to my sister Apuk Gel Maror. بقول لك مرحب بك. I will say hi, but I think maybe our sister, she have issues with the internet or with the device. Probably people in the control will help her to come back again. But also I have with me William Goldit. Also today he don't have his camera, but we will be hearing his voice. And I have Mabor Kong with me. And of course, there is the rest that will come and join us later on, and they will come and share with us. But because of the topic that we choose today, I'm gonna play music that was sang by CJ Oman Junubia, because the topic today it's about them. And I think CJ Oman, he put some good words there. But maybe there is other artists that make better song. If you know them, you can share them with me, and I will play them as well. But at the meantime, as I'm waiting for the other panelists to come, I will like to play the music, which it's sang by CJ Oman, and the song is called Junobia. Sister Apuk, hi to you again. I think you have an issue with the internet, eh?
I
Okay.
think it's connection. I was using iPhone and then I switched to Samsung, so hopefully it's better.
Okay, it's not gonna play those tricks again. Okay, that's good. Well, hey, we're really delighted to see you here, and of course later on when we give you a chance, you will tell us more about you. But thank you so much for joining us today. Today is very special. Today we dedicated for you guys as the beautiful ladies of South Sudan, and we are kind of trying to be in solidarity with you guys. We felt that there is a lot of abuse that going on uh, with the lady of South Sudan. Maybe those who are abroad, maybe it's not happening that much because the system could be supporting them by the way or another. But in South Sudan, we see a lot of things happening, and that is why today we want to hear your views today. But when we come back to that, I would like to play music by CJ Oman, where CJ Oman is he sang about the beautiful South Sudanese lady. Okay, let me share that with you guys and wait for the rest to come. Stay tuned.
CJ1. Junubia. Hey. Opinia kisinto biafa. Opinia nanto biafa. Opinia say malaika. Kuwe na tai watatu. Dunia kemi tukuru. Junubia. 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 And I know Penny came in bay, and I die when I thought city. And I know Penny came in bay, and I die when I thought city. And I still think it gonna do fake it. Gana ruwa ana bitilin shunu ana gali kelan ruwa selimu ana inuka ana matiko dunia kemi ni kutukura junubia 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 that's what it is. That's what I'm talking about. CJ, what? Junubia, Uluyo, Ilimtai Fogo, Shalama Finom, Anakipekiruo, Junubia, Uluyo, Ilimtai Fogo, Shalama Finom, Anakipekiruo, Analifulifu Gifetisuo, Junubia, Masarasta Ikulu, Analifu forgive it so you know be a masara style you know be you know be you know be you know be hey hey that's you know be oh Kopini aitisentokiafa Kopini alontokiafa Kopini asei malaika Anatukuwe na tai wataku Bini akemi mufutukuru Junubia Junubia
Hello, once again. It's good to see you all. I think see that song. I like the beats and the words are really good. I hope it's gonna be. It was enshrined with the topic of today. Yes, even though the topic we put it kind of look negative a little bit, but actually, just we want to make a point out there, uh, and uh, and of course, the topic today uh, it's about women abuse in South Sudan. That is how we felt, and just we want to make some clarification today. Is it really something happening or not? My sister Apuk there, I think as an early bird, I think you will have the lion cut today or the lion share because the rest of the ladies are not here and probably you will have a lot of room to speak yourself today. But don't worry, we have also William Goldit with us also in the studio. He's not on the camera as he apologized earlier that he forget to bring to get his the webcam. Uh, he will be also supporting you, so we are all together, right? We will share those minutes together. And also we are waiting for a few more to come, but we're not going to wait. They have to catch up with us. Um, and before I go, we have William and maybe Simon also behind the curtain there, also helping us with technical support. And of course, me as the host for today, my name is Pal Jock. In case it's written Peel, but it's Pal Jock. Um, Before William also introduce himself, Apuk, uh, introduce yourself to us before we go ahead and ask the questions.
All right, beautiful. First of all, let me just say thank you to the Nile Nation Network for inviting me today to have a say in this very sensitive and also very important topic of discussion. My name is Apok. I live in Australia. I'm currently an educator, so I'm a teacher. And I'm very passionate about things to do with human rights, anything to do with political base or things that I believe are linked to humanity, really. And that's the reason why some of us are usually very keen to be a part of any program, whether it's on social media or outside of social media, to have a discussion or share ideas about things that can have an impact in our society. So that's all I can say for now. So thanks for inviting me.
And thank you so much. I think you will be a good asset for us today. We're going to learn a lot from you. Good. Okay, that's good. And also, we are joined there by our sister Ayan Makur. So you just find us, sister. We're just starting, and I just want to give you also a floor to introduce yourself. My name is Pal Jok, and I have with us in the studio William Goldit and Mabur Welkong, and maybe Simon also at the back there with the technical support. Uh, in this platform, you can speak in Arabic and English. These are the two languages that, unless if you speak different language and there is an interpreter, why not, right? If there is no interpreter, we prefer both of these two languages, English and Arabic. Please, can you introduce yourself, my sister Ayan, or maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. Go ahead, unmute yourself.
Hi, Kur. That's my name. Um, I'm happy to be here. My one of my brother William K. Mabur had contacted me, and he told me that you guys were gonna have a special conversation about women. And when topic like that comes up, we women gotta come and we gotta talk and we gotta share our opinions. So once again, my name is Ayan Makur, and I see my sister Apuk is there. Hi Apuk, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you? Good to see
Um,
you back on
I
social media.
I did not want to come, but we gotta do it for the woman, right?
I agree. For our society, yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's good for it's good for you guys. It's like deja vu. You say you don't want to come, you're done with the social media. But today we want to keep it as a positive. We are in solidarity with you guys today, and I hope that is how it should be, and that is what we want to do today. Uh, and as you introduce yourself, Sister Ayan and Apuk, also let William, we don't see him for the reason he apologized for. Please, William, can you introduce yourself to these beautiful young ladies?
Thank you, Pal, and thank you, Puk, and Ayan, and Mabor, and Pal again. I think is an honor to be here tonight with our sisters to just have a conversation about the topic we are seeing here. Yeah, and also not only should it be only the one-time conversation, because we have a lot we have really to come to talk about. Is we Yeah. So my name is William Goldit. I live in Canada here. So I'm so pleased to be with you. Just I asked my daughter to. She just came, and then I asked her to give me her computer, so I will be logging into the laptop so I can have a webcam. So yeah, so I'm so happy to be with you.
Okay, do that. But I hope before you turn this one off, because I want you also to follow us carefully. So turn the other one on, and Mabur will bring you in. And when you're in with the one that was the video cam or the webcam, and then you can turn this one off. Okay.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, because I don't want you to miss this. Okay,
Okay,
let us jump into really why we are here today. And this beautiful song was CJ Oman. I will play it again later on, uh, because I think there are good words there about Junubia, and we are proud of you guys. So now let us jump into that. Yes, we want to talk about the women abuse in South Sudan, because maybe we witnessed it, we heard it, uh, and uh, and we felt. that really the woman in South Sudan, uh, she is being abused in so many ways. But before we go into deep into the details, and maybe some of the questions that I will raise today, it may not resonate with the topic that we are talking about. Maybe you will have a different way of phrasing it, and I will let you feel free to do that. Okay, but if we have to let the South Sudanese know, the normal people, if we tell them, if you let us let them know what is women, like if you on your own words, if you want to introduce what is women, right? I don't want to go with the meaning that it's in the dictionary. It's a opposite sex of man and all these kind of things. No, no, but in your own word, what is woman? What is woman? Okay. And let me start with a book, if you can tell us. Or if you are a teacher, there is a say that if you give a teacher a chance, then the rest will not be able to talk. What do you think? Give the other people the chance before giving
Yeah,
the teacher?
yes, you
uh,
can give them a chance to define what a woman is, and then I'll have a turn. Thank you.
okay, William. Okay, maybe
Yeah,
William is not
yeah.
with us.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
William, why don't we just on your own words before I give the ladies the chance to, because I don't want them even to tell us who is themselves, but as you as a man, like, how do you define woman? What are the words that you can define a woman? If I can give you a chance, I know you, unless if you want me to delay a little bit till you put your video on.
It's okay. Yeah, I think so. It's uh, to define a woman. I think let us go back to the origins of creation. This is how, in my own way, that is the way how I can define the woman. If we believe that we are not on this earth by accident, but somebody put us here, and then we should connect. I think from the Genesis, when God, with the intention of creating the human, He created all the universe and create man. And then the intentions of God, of course, is for human to fill the earth with human. And then God said, it is not good that the man will be by himself. Let us create a suitable partner to him. So the partner has been created. And then how was that partner created? It was taken from the flesh of man. And then now we have a woman. And then what man said himself? The man said, since she is from my bone and my own flesh, now he accepted it. And then from there, they have been united as a couple. So, and then God also instructed that whatever God joined together, no one can separate it. So today, when we talk about, or if we translate the meaning of suitable partner, and a woman being taken from the flesh of a man. So what does it mean to us? To me, myself, is that woman and a man, they are just one body. To 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 help each others. So they are equal partners in making of this world. So woman is a suitable partners and is a flesh of the man, and they have been united and they are one body. And we experience it if the couple are living in hostile relationship. You can see the pain at home, in the children's, in a man, in a woman. Everybody pain the same at that home. That gives us the understanding that yes, it is one flesh. So every woman is in a pain, a man too, and the children they are paining too, even including the neighbor. Thank you. This is what I can define the woman here.
Thank you, William. Thank you, William. That is like a right word chosen there. I don't mind if the sister can defer with you, no problem at all. It's just we want to learn. Now we want to learn from the perspective of the religion. So that is good. So now we can learn a different way. Sister Ayan, you turn your video off as a joke. I'm going to punish you for that because you turn your no. I don't understand the abuse here. No. But because you turn your video off, let me come to you. How do you define a woman? Not yourself, but just the word and in general, the woman.
A woman is like a temple,
Amen.
you know, and strong. She's a nurturer, a mother, a protector, a giver, and so many more, you know. That's I'm not going to say a lot. That's what I'm going to say.
Thank you. Now Apuk will say, "Those are my words. You took them out of my mouth." So, but I think she's gonna come with more thing too, because I agree with you with some of the thing that you said right there. And that is, I thought if I was given the chance to define a woman, I think I would say some of those things that you said right there. So now, Apuk, admit yourself and define a woman.
To be honest with you, I think this is a very interesting question because you can answer it from a biblical standpoint or a scientific standpoint, and if we get more modern, and then it gets even more confusing. But just to stick to the topic, I'll be mindful because these days you can even offend people. Let's just be realistic. In terms of what defines a woman, I think it's apart from the physical and physiological side of things, we know well we can define it that I don't want to go the other way, the modern way. I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say, because
we don't mind.
Let me be comfortable because we're moving towards that direction. Yes, in the modern day, anyone can feel like a woman, anyone can feel like a man. That's what I'm trying to say. Psychologically, we know that there are men in our society right now that identify as women, and we have women that identify as men, and so the definition is changing. It's overly changing, and it's becoming more confusing. So for me, I'm just going to step back a little bit and just talk about, okay, if you're a woman and if you identify as a woman, what are you? Like brother said, you can talk from the beginning of time and how the Bible explains how women and men came to life, or we can talk with the modern society of what a woman is, because to me it doesn't have a definite definition really, But as an individual, do I identify as a woman? Yeah, what identifies me as a woman is probably my characteristics and how I see myself and view myself as an individual. Like I said before, I don't want to offend anyone, because if this is where discrimination comes in. I don't know if you understand what. If I say a woman is this, and then someone else will turn around and say, "Well, no, but I'm a woman," and is perhaps is a transgender or whatever. But in South Sudanese community right now, that's not the case. Maybe to South Sudanese that are living in Western world, even at my workplace, you know, we have to be very careful about how we refer to certain gender within a classroom setting because of a result. There are people even that deem themselves as genderless, meaning they don't have a gender. They don't want to identify as men as women. You understand what I'm saying? So really, the definition is very broad, and it's going to come down to individuals and what they deem as being a woman and being a man. I hope I answered that question. And I was trying my best to be politically correct about it as well, because
Yeah,
it's a very difficult term to
I
define.
can see I can see your tongue is bleeding because you bite it a lot. You're trying to be politically correct. It's too, like, it's too much. But to me, you know, I don't mind even the transgender, right? If they change themselves from man to a woman, I think this is how I will say, right? I will say, first of all, woman is my daughter, regardless of like become confused about their gender, or they become a transgender, things like that. But as long as they come to the point, somebody know themselves, and then they say, no, I'm a lady, right? You can call me she, her, right? Things like that. So I would say she is a sister, a woman. She is a sister. She's a daughter. She's a mother. She's my spouse. She's my grandma. Okay. Not just only that. If I go more, right? A woman at the same time could be my teacher, right? My doctor, right? A lot of things like that it can be my manager. And I'm telling you, like, since I start working at my job for the last 12 years, I have one manager who was a man. The rest, they were ladies. So she could be my manager. So a woman, really, I think she is the backbone of the whole universe.
Mm.
The woman is everything in our life. And I can say, I for one, if there is no woman in our life, I think a lot of us will be saying, God, maybe you are not real. How come it's just only me? Like, you know. So woman, she's a backbone, she's a protector, as Ayen was saying. She's everything. She's the backbone of nation. And that's why when we start looking at the woman really being abused in South Sudan, I think South Sudanese are missing something. They don't know how this powerful this woman is, right? And most of the time we look, we say, okay, woman, she is weak in certain things. But you know what? To me, as Pal, that is where I see the strengths of a woman in her weakness. Because you see, guess what? If a woman trying to show me her muscle and things like that, then I will category her differently, and maybe I will think she's a man, and I would think that to fight her. But in her weakness, and that is where I melt. What am I gonna do, right? Try to like overpower her while she is showing me her weakness already. And I think that is where those who understand the power of woman, right, especially when it's becoming her weakness, and then that is a very, very strong power, and that can take even a giant. So you know, as I say, I'm not going to say much, but I want you to feel free, really, to define a woman just in a very simple way. I think somebody put the title here. That is not what the title is. Yeah, can you? Yeah, that is not the title. The title is about women abuse in South Sudan. So those who are, yes, please, that is the title. And if you guys want to put it on the banner, that is what it should be put on. So yeah, that's where I want you to feel free. Don't bite your tongue too much. We are in a free space here, and of course I want you to be watch anyone that can say no, why you do that, why you do that. But I know where you're coming from. As being a teacher, you know, when somebody to go tell you, hey, why you talk like that about women? So you excluded us from being a woman, and I define myself as a woman. But yeah, very simply, you're my sister, you're my daughter, you're my mom, you're my wife, you're my spouse, you are everything to me in my life, right? So anyone want to change the mind and put more words into
Yeah,
what is woman?
I want to interject something
Okay, go ahead, William.
basic on what our sister Apuk said. I think that is a very legit concern that there are too much definitions, and we sometimes we all become nervous, you know, especially we who live in the Western world. But I think today, the topic today is very clear, and that could help us, all of us, and the audience, that the topic itself can be the our regulations. What are we talking about? So if we talk about the women, and then we're talking about the woman, but if we talking about women, transgender, and all this lesbian and gay and all that will be different topic. But when we said, because there are people who define themselves that they are transgender and they deserve a respect, but that is different issues. But when we said women, we're talking about those people who are who know themselves they are women. So, but we if the people who are transgender, they said no, don't define me as a woman. Well, we didn't include them here, you know. So it could become a problem when we said transgender also they are included in a definition of the woman, and then it become a problem. But we respect them as a different gender, and also we're talking about woman as a woman, you know. So this is what just one I want to interject here.
Thank you, William. And you know, with all my respect, I want to maybe to say it here. We are like really, we are not really. I have a lot of respect to LGBTQ plus. I don't have any, or LGBTQ2 plus, something like that. Was all the every time there is additional to it. I have a lot of respect to them, and we are not here to demonize anybody and things like that. But simply, it's just what is women. If they are from LGBTQ two plus community, and you identify yourself as a woman, yes, of course, you are included, and we love you. You are my sister, you are my daughter, you are my mom. You could be whatever, all the names that we think it's fit in that. And that is where like, just in general, what I'm trying to say, really, the women of South Sudan, they are the backbone of South Sudan. They are farmers. They are doing a lot of things in South Sudan that is just when unnoticed. And people think that they are not doing anything, but they are doing a lot. And that is where I think I want all of us to express that today. If it is not on this question, there is other more question to come. So let us jump. If no one else have like to add any comment, Then I will jump to the second question. Ayan, you unmute yourself. You want to add something?
No.
Oh,
I'm
okay. I guess you want to say no. Okay. Okay. So then the second question will be, as we are talking about women abuse, I want the abuse to be really explain here. What is abuse? Like in all kind of abuse that can come in your mind. Ayan, what is abuse?
abuse comes in like a lot of different terms
Yes.
and meaning, you know. And when it comes to abuse, it can be sexually, emotionally, physically, um mentally, you know. So it's it's a variety of things, and yeah, abuse is it comes in a lot of terms. So that's my definition of abuse, and another person can add something else.
Of course, yeah. Thank you. That's why we are all here, more than one, and of course, people can add thing. Apuk. Now, this one you're not gonna bite your tongue. You
Yeah.
tell us what is abuse in
Go
all.
Yeah.
hard. Go hard or go home.
Anyone can
Uh,
be abused, regardless.
oh, definitely. So just like Sister Yan said, abuse comes in different forms. So I'm not going to go in depth into what because she mentioned a lot of things. Like could be emotional, mental, financial, even a spiritual abuse as well, physical and sexual. So these are the different types of abuse. However, when it comes to domestic violence or family violence, there's a different way that these things are defined. So we have domestic violence, and then we have family violence as well. So again, it even goes into like informal care relationships, because as we all know, right, these days, like you have foster families and things like that. So for domestic violence,
For
usually it's
the
interpersonal violence that happen um, towards people that are in intimate relationship, or they've already broken up, um, where you have a partner that is controlling, or they try to use their power to create fear, um, or even threaten to harm the person or even hurt them. And then you have the family violence, which is abuse of either intermediate or external family members towards children, or a spouse or whatever. Let me just put this out there. I understand that half of the time when we talk about abuse, it's women that come up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone,
It different.
regardless of their
Mm-hmm.
age, socioeconomic status, whether they're rich or poor, regardless of their gender, sexuality, culture, race, um, anywhere in the world can experience abuse. So when we talk of women abuse, it's because in a lot of cultures or globally, it's one of the biggest issues. And sometimes I ask myself this question, because in our own communities, we know that yes, there are gender-based abuse or violence that happen. Um, However, it's women are highly likely to report those compared to men. And I remember I was having a bit of a chat with one of my friends, and he's obviously a male, and he was complaining. He was like, "Why is it that when we talk of abuse, we're always focusing on women? What about men? Men are also capable of being abused as well." And I told him, yes, definitely. Everyone can be abused. Let's not, it's a misconception when we say it's only just women that are abused, because women can also abuse men.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There are women that are capable of doing that. However, the number is higher for women. And I even went to the point where I was trying to explain to that person that maybe because of our cultural background or cultural understanding, where men, you can't cry, you can't report that I have been physically assaulted or sexually assaulted because you're a man. Okay, so maybe these things are just not reported. Maybe men are being abused and they're quiet about it because of what society expects of them. But for us women, we're highly likely to, you know just cry and seek help as soon as possible. So yes, anyone can be abused. And I just want us to keep that in mind. It happens. Men are capable of being abused as well, but women are more vulnerable. That's all I can say. And if you look at, even because I live in Australia, if you look at the statistics, it's very high. You know, domestic violence is very high in women when compared to men, and that's the reason why society tend to focus more on violence against women. That's all I can add.
And also, abuse, usually, like when I see people or like known of people being abused, it first starts off with like verbal abuse, you know. So ladies, if a man starts off with verbally abusing you, it will go farther and farther to even domestic abuse, you know. So
It will escalate. Yeah.
yeah, it will escalate on to greater, and it's just seek help as soon as a man is verbally abusing you. Just know it doesn't end there, you know. There's more, like it'll escalate more and more, you know. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I just want to say to Elaine Yamal. Well, forgive me. When is the first time for me to see a combination of a name like that? Forgive me about that. But I would like to say hi and welcome to Nile Nation Network. Tell us about, like, introduce yourself to us so we can get your name right.
All right. First, thank you for the invitation. I hope you guys can hear me okay. Um, you know, Ellie is short for Elizabeth, so that's
Oh,
my full name to it. So I just cut it short that way, especially here in the industry, the fashion world. And then Yamal. Yamal is my birth given name, so I just put them together. So it's Ellie Yamal. Yeah, if that makes sense in any way. So yeah, sorry I came a little late, and hope I still catch you guys on the show. So
well,
yeah.
yeah, we didn't go that far, but as I will give a chance to William now also to give us his definition about the abuse, and as Sister Ayan and Sister Apuk put it, abuse can happen to everybody. Is abuse is happening everywhere and can happen to everybody. But as we are choosing the topic for today, women abuse, because I think we see in South Sudan or in all over the world, it's high in number. Most of the time, it's a women abuse, and I think followed by the children abuse, and then maybe the men abuse. They don't report it because I think with the uprising where they were raised, you don't cry, you don't tell, you don't do this. So they thought that, hey, I'm a man, let me just suck it in. But they get abused. But as we are feeling that, hey, women who has been abused is the highest numbers in the world. So let us stick to it. Let's talk about it. We want to be in solidarity with women, so at least we can add something, so the woman abuse can be reduced to zero. Why not, right? So that's why we are here, and just sit tight there, and of course I will ask you to answer some of the question also later on. William, can you unmute yourself and maybe give us a definition of abuse?
Yeah, I think from my understanding, abuse is unfair treatments uh, of a person who is in a lower positions by a person who is in power. Okay, so the power uh, could be financial power, could be educational power. You can name them, you know. And even if you look at the countries themselves, for example, if I say China was a weak countries, and then who care about China? But now look, when China now become one of the a superpower, they have a respect now. That just to use it as an example. So when we go to the woman abuse, especially in our country where we come from, there is too much abuse going on there. And sometimes we don't notice them because culturally we believe that this is how it should look like. If you beat up your children or if you beat up your wife, is a given case. I have seen people beating, even the woman is crying. If somebody is crying, the mom of your children crying at the same age as you, that means there is too much pain there. But for you who culturally believe that this is how you're doing good thing, and your neighbor is believing that also this is how it work, who care about the pain you are inflicting into that person or that human? So no, a woman here physically being weak, and then you physically being a strong, and then you are abusing. So I was young when I was in Khartoum. One time people are sitting down, the Shuruk people, I was there. So one man they were arguing, and then the other man said, "Hey, you put yasa, I will beat you now." That in Shuruk, you put yasa. And then the man responded by saying, he said, no, there is something wrong here. I have to correct it to you. You shouldn't say you put yasa or I will beat you now. You should say I will hit you now. Because the child, you can beat the child, but you cannot beat a person like me. You can hit me, but I will hit back, you know? So you see here, because two of them, they have equal power. So you cannot beat any person here. So, but when we beat or when we abuse the woman physically, because we know we are strong. Yeah. So again, abuse is unfair treatment of a lower person, and that is what we can define as abuse of power. Because the power you have should be, as sister said, to protect, to defend, to provide. That is the meaning of power. But if you start using it in that way, by mistreating cruelly the weak person, you are abusing your power, because that power is meant to protect and defend. So this is how I can define the abuse. Yeah.
Thank you, William, for doing that. Just let me bring our sister Elizabeth Nyamal, or Eli Nyamal, to the speed here. When we started, we defined with the word woman. I won't be able to say it all. I didn't memorize anything from what was being said by the panelists, but we took the what is woman in the biblical point of view, in to political rect point of view, and to the normal point of view, that what is a woman? A woman is a sister, is a mother, is a grandma, is the woman can be a doctor, your teacher, your manager. So, like, a woman, she is the backbone of our all societies. Like, she's the backbone. To me, I don't know who can come and argue that and say you're wrong. No, I think I will go with him or her wherever they want. But I do strongly believe, woman, she is the backbone of all our societies. She's the backbone of our house, our everything. She's the backbone of that. So just I bring you to speed on that. And also we talk about abuse. And abuse is, it's when somebody felt that they have certain powers, and they can, because of those power, they can abuse you or treat you or to cause you harm. because they have the power. That power could be money, could be muscle, could be whatever, right? They think that you're weak, and you are in a lower scale of him or her, and then they can abuse you because of that. So that is where we are talking about, and of course, if you want to touch anything later on about these two that I said about the definition, what is woman and what is abuse, if you want to do it later on, you can go ahead. But I just want to ask, like all of you, as we define that, we are talking about the women abuse in South Sudan. Let us disagree to agree, right? And I just want to ask you, do you believe the women in South Sudan, are they abused? If not, tell us, give us your argue. If yes, I want you to identify who is abusing her, who is abusing the woman in South Sudan. So at least people know if there is abuse going on, let us point it out so they know that we know now they are the abusive people, like the woman is being abused. So that may give them a ground to at least change themselves. We cannot change nobody, but they can change themselves, right? I see there is a brother. He was saying that I don't know, brother Samuel. He was thinking that he could join the topic. So please, people on the control, if you can drop the link to him, and then he can come and join. I think he want to have air his view too. So you can do that. And brother, what is his name? Samuel K. Majok. Is that is the person? Yeah. So you can drop the link and he can come and join us. No problem. So now, and this is a question to all of you. No biting tongues. Sorry, I accuse Sister Abuk of biting her tongue. But no biting tongues. Let us be free. Speak your mind, okay? And just tell us really, all of you. Elizabeth, Aileen Yamal, I will start with you. Do you think the woman in South Sudan, she is getting abused? If not, tell us no, it's not, and she is not abused. Give us your examples. And if you think she is abused, if you can identify for us who is abusing her, and you can tell me, hey, pal, is you are the one who is abusing the women of South Sudan. I will take it, because today I'm changing my mind. I will be in solidarity with you. So Elizabeth Nyamal, can you answer that question? Is the woman in South Sudan, is she being abused? And
Yes.
if not,
Thank you for the question. For me, it's kind of more of a broad question. So my answer is pretty much going to be pretty broad on that. Because, I don't really
so
know
you
too
want to
much
be a
about
politically
women's
correct
abuse.
too, eh? You want to be a politically correct too, eh?
No, I'm
Okay.
not a political correct type of person. I respect everybody's opinion. Like everybody has their own way of how they see things or their own
Okay.
perspective, I would say.
Okay. Watching your
Uh,
back, no problem.
yeah. But
Okay.
I mean,
Go
for
ahead.
what I could say, if we're talking about the South Sudanese women, um, I mean, probably like the only ones that I know in the diaspora or, like other countries outside of South Sudan. Um, those are pretty much who I can speak on, apparently, at this point. And I would say things have changed a lot. Things have changed a lot. And I don't think they are as they used to be. Because if you look back in like 5, 10 years ago, yes, women do have lower standard than men. Women are considered not to say much, or they're not equal to certain things that they are capable to do. And if we come to modern day, I think a lot changed, but I don't know if it's still happening or not, where girls are quicker to be put out of school and being forced into marriage or anything like that. And I still consider that, abuse towards women as well, because it's not really giving the girls an opportunity to choose for her own life or to take her own journey to get to know who she really is. Um, so that plays an effect on her mental health as well and her physical as well, and how it develops with her along the way in becoming a woman. Because even down the line, if she was to be forced into marriage and have children, and then later on she ends up being alone, or her husband leaves her and she ends up having to take care of the kids by herself, um, that also plays a huge toll and huge effect on her life as well. And challenges just gets harder and causes more struggle. And I think that's what I see now in our current state of life. But as far as like other abuse that we normalize, like beating or, talking down to your women, I haven't seen much of those. So I really wouldn't, I would say that has changed a lot. It had really slowed down. But I think it's just more of, women's having the opportunity to choose and become who they can be and continue to pursue their life and know that they have a potential and that their husband, brothers, uncles, and anybody can encourage them to go that route. So that's my opinion on that.
Thank you so much. As long as still it didn't come to zero yet, and still there's few
Yeah.
out there that you can hear, you hear them here and there. Just our hope is should like the abuse toward women should come to zero. That is what we are hoping for. Sister Apuk, can you tell us, is the
Yeah.
woman of South Sudan being abused or not?
Yes. Look, there are a lot of abuse that are quite prevalent within South Sudanese. Back home, I went for the first time to visit South Sudan, and there were so many things that I personally thought were categorized as an abuse, but to them, obviously, perhaps maybe the only type of abuse that we are aware of is the physical one, where you are beaten up, and that's the one that's quite highly normalized. However, if you look at young girls that are in Juba at the moment, a lot of them perhaps are going through a lot of sexual abuse at workplaces. They may not be coming out to talk about these things because of the economical situation. As we all know, and like Brother William said before, anyone that has power can dictate and control certain things. I personally was very shocked when I was walking on the streets of Juba at night time, seeing very, very young girls, perhaps even underage, dressed up in a way that was quite, I don't know how to describe it, but they were standing on the streets, maybe perhaps
I
that's the
think
way that
she
the only
dresses
way
very.
that they can provide for their families. So the country, there's a long way to go. If you have a country where hotels are built more than hospitals, more than schools, and then that's a concern, because what are these hotels? What are they used for? That's another question as well. So young girls are being subjected to sexual activities forcefully, or even they're being manipulated into it. I personally cannot even imagine myself wanting to work in Juba at the moment if I'm not married. Let's be realistic. Because at least if you have a husband, they could at least respect you. But if you're just a young girl that's not married and you have to go and work in someone's office, can you imagine the sort of abuse that you would have to experience? Or the sort of abuse that you would have to go through? And because it's normalized and because people think it's okay and there's no one else that you can talk to, there are no programs that have been set in place, and then that's fine. Even some of our government officials here and there, you see them with really young girls and photos being taken in the hotels, and it makes you question, how is that even possible? How is that even allowed? And for me as a woman, it really concerns me, because To them, it's more like, oh yeah, I can marry her anyway, so what difference does it make? And like Sister Nyamal said before, you know, it's a concern, because if a young girl is not at school but she's at a hotel with some government official, that is, there has to be some form of an element of abuse and misuse of power as well, and control and inflicting fear. So yes, even if we don't know, even if people don't come to light, definitely there are some form of abuse that are happening within the country. Mainly, yes, we hear of the physical violence. Even I have seen it myself, and it was quite shocking. I remember, I'll tell you a story. I went down to the village in my in South Sudan. I mean, in Twitch, Mayadit. I'm from Twitch, and at night time I heard a gunshot. And in the morning, I woke up, I asked my mom, I'm like, did you hear the gunshots? And my mom was like, yeah. I'm like, what was happening? And they were telling me the story that our neighbor, okay, was shooting his wife because she was drinking alcohol. And he was also alcoholic. So both of them were like obviously engaged in the same thing. But because she's a woman, okay, it was not okay for her to drink, you see. And the amount of force that he was using was an intent to hurt her, possibly even kill her. So I was even mad. I'm like, well, how dare he's actually shooting in the neighborhood? What if someone gets caught, you know, and crossfire? So you can see, and I've seen so many things happening. The way they were even talking to women, I have personally experienced some form of abuse as well, just on the street. Okay, to them it's normal because you're a young girl and they can talk to you a certain way. But to me, I was like, dude, you're actually sexually harassing me right now. Okay, little things like the way I was dressed was a big problem in South Sudan. Personally, when I left here, my mom already told me, she's like, be mindful that back there the way they dress is entirely different. So make sure whatever you wear can cover your body and it's a bit lengthy, you know. So when I went, I was a bit mindful of what I thought was reasonable, because obviously I'm not going to wear those very like those. To me, I consider them as like there's a different age group. I'm not going to dress like a grandma. You understand? Fully covered in a very hot weather, impossible. But the level of abuse verbally that I experienced was appalling. I was unhappy about it. Like I could just literally be walking in the street and someone's telling me, "Oh, why don't you just take off your clothes and just walk naked?" You understand? Oh, little things like, oh, why are you dressed like that? This is Juba. It's not, you know, like, so imagine if I was even to like work with these people. You understand? Another thing too that I realized was that they have a certain standard that they've set in their mind of what a woman should behave like, what a woman should dress like, and how a woman should speak. At one point, I remember I was at the immigration center, and what happened was, okay, so I was talking to this gentleman, and he was upset that I was not like, why was I looking at him? You understand? Like, why am I having face? So a woman should be looking down. I don't know if that I don't even know what that means. Like, you're not meant to be looking at them when but to me, if you're talking to me and I'm not looking at you, it means that I'm not paying attention. I understand it's culture. You know, like if you're speaking to your elder and then you need to look down and not look at them directly in the face. But this is someone that is in an office. Why should I have to, you know, not pay attention to what they're saying? And that became a problem for me, like that lack of communication. Anyways, I understand, yes, we do have cultural perspective, but then at the same time, I think as a woman, I felt very uncomfortable. And since 2015, personally, I've never even ever thought or missed South Sudan or even wanted to visit South Sudan. A couple of times I nearly got beat up on the street because of the way I was speaking to some men. I was nearly going to be physically abused. So can you imagine if I was living in the country, the amount of fear that I would have had to be inflicted on me to behave a certain way? So yes, women of South Sudan are going through some form of harassment or some form of abuse. It's just not being reported, or we don't have programs in place that can follow these things up so that they can be addressed appropriately. So yes, domestic violence is there, family violence abuse is there, and when it comes to not just government officials but anyone that is position of power, we have to. I know this is the next question that you're going to ask, but we really need to have programs in place to ensure that these people are, you know, held accountable because of their behavior. I shouldn't have to feel uncomfortable because I'm a woman. I don't know if that makes sense. I shouldn't have to behave a certain way or speak a certain way because of the standards that have been set by certain people within the society. Okay, so it's a very scary country for women, to be honest with you, and it's mainly dominated by men as well. And as a woman, you can't speak up because if you do, you'll be labeled, you'll be abused. So it's really scary. I'll
Uh,
give someone else a chance.
thank you so much. And let me come to you say a lot of good things, and I hope that the viewers out there, they are paying attention, and I hope this video will be shared really because we want to educate our people. Like we need to change really. This is not the way it should be because the man should be the protector instead of being the abuser. So they need to understand that, right? So they have to change their ways. But let us come to Sister Ayan. Can you also add into that?
Um, Definitely there is abuse in South Sudan, and it's not just South Sudan alone. Even in the diaspora here, the South Sudanese community, because we're speaking about South Sudan, right? Even here in diaspora, um, it's a lot, you know. Within the community, there's abuse, and in South Sudan, there's abuse. I've been to South Sudan many times, and I witnessed, I witnessed women getting abused. You know, I was staying at this my uncle house, and you know, in our back home, everybody, family, what, they're all welcome to stay in a house, you know. So there's this young beautiful girl, and her her boyfriend or husband will leave, come, they leave and come whenever they feel like. 7 in the morning, they're gone. 8 p.m., they're back in the house. So he was abusing the girl really, really bad, you know. And I spoke to the girl and I asked her, like, why don't you just go back home to your parents? And she's like, this is not the worst of it. Like, me being here is better than me going back home, you know, because she will face more abuse. So it was really sad. Like, it was really sad. And like Apuk said, she witnessed a lot, even in the streets, even young girls. Um, at the end of the day, an abuser, they think it's powerful because they have power, that's why they're abusing. No. Any person that abuses any person lacks power. You know, they feel like they're not powerful enough, so they have to be mean and they have to abuse to make them a man or a woman,
You're
you know.
right.
And
Mhm.
it's ridiculous. It's what's going on, especially in our home, in our country. It's it's sad. And let me make it clear, not everyone in South Sudan is an abuser, you know. Not everybody. There are some good people, you know. Even there are women in South Sudan that abuse men, you know, but majority is women being abused financially, physically, sexually, emotionally, mentally, you know. And it's it's sad. There's another incident. Like, I went there, the last time I went there, I went there for like marriage and whatever, the that I went there for. And I was staying in a hotel, and there was this woman, you know, she was older than me, and she had about 5 kids. And I was sitting outside, like lounging outside, and she came and sat at the table next to me. And she needed somebody to talk to, you know, because women there are not allowed to vent. And they can't even vent to anybody, because if they go and vent to another person, that person will sit there and laugh at them and see them like they're weak. Like they have to be strong. Like women in South Sudan, they have to portray being strong. Like they cannot show any sign of weakness, and it's sad. So I was sitting there, and mind you, I don't know this lady. She came and sat down, and she was talking to me. She asked me my name, introduced herself, and I was like, how is everything? She broke down. You know, she was speaking of like how her husband went and found a younger woman. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry about that. She's like, yeah, he's not providing for her. He totally forgot that he had another responsibility, and he was catering to the new woman, which he forgot that his first woman is there. So he started abusing her. Like, it started verbally, she told me, and then he started physically abusing her. Then at that point, he also gave a room for his new wife to also abuse her, you know? And the new wife would verbally abuse her, will call her names, will tell her that she's less of a woman. That's why her man had to go outside and look for another woman. And it's sad. Like, all these incidents are going on in
I
our
would jump
community.
into their fight without me knowing.
Yeah. It's so deep, this abuse of women in our community. Being abused is so deep, and it's so sad. A lot of women hide their stories, and there's a lot of them have stories to tell, you know and it's sad that me and Apuk are here, just discussing this, because we we can speak about it, and we can give just a little detail, a little information about like abuse and stuff. But at the end of the day, we can't we won't. I was never abused, like, to extreme. So I really, like, it's really hard, because we want somebody that was there, that fit the shoes, so the audience can be emotionally moved. You know what I mean? So it's like, we can say so much, but one day, if you guys do the show again, I wish women that have been abused, in their lifetime, can just come up and condemn it, you know condemn it, and share their stories with us. It would be so great, so we can avoid. And our culture forgets that our mothers, you know our mothers need to start educating our daughters. Like, they need to start educating our daughters, especially those that go to new homes, those that meet their husbands. They need to teach us, and to always voice our opinions, and how to handle situations like that. Because it's hard in these streets. It's hard in these streets for being a woman. And it's just, I've seen so much, and all I do is every day I pray to God that I don't have to face such, such crisis that,
Situation. Hmm.
yeah, that women are going through. And power to those women that really do get abused, and they come out and they speak about it, and they discuss it. And it's just a lot to learn. And it takes time. Our country has a lot to learn. A lot. Like,
And
it's
I wish God will grant your prayer,
yeah.
because We need some changes there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even I know two of you. You told you said earlier that you avoid to come to these social media. I think you need to create a platforms that a woman voice can be heard, right? And I encourage you, sisters, and at the same time, you guys could be the age of my daughter. I encourage you, really, you need to come back and come back as strong. You know what? The future is yours. You need to really grab it with all your might, because really you need to advocate for your people, and with you not being there, really it's going to be a big loss, right? So Ian, I'm not sure if you finish there was your point, but yeah, I cut you off. If you there is one more you want to finish, and then I can give William a chance, and then there is a video that I need to put up there, and then we can make our comments before we proceed. Uh, do you have anything that I cut you?
Yes. Also, the biggest abuse that's going on right now in South Sudan, and it shouldn't happen in this time that we're in, in the 21st generation, is arranged marriage and young girls getting married, at young age. That is like one of the like biggest abuse that is going on right now, where they think it's okay for a girl ages 12, 14, 15, 16, 17 to get married, and they're not mentally, like, they're not mentally ready. They're young girls, they're not even women yet. And that's where, when they go home and they don't fulfill the being a woman enough, or handling what a mature woman is supposed to do, that's where they start getting abused, and they treat them like little kids. It's like it's like men find that so powerful. Like, let me marry a young girl so I can bring her home and then treat her like my daughter. That's basically what they do. They marry young girls, then take them home and treat them like little kids, and don't speak to them as, like, that's my wife, and it's just so ridiculous.
I'm
It's
going to put a joke here. Maybe because men want to marry a younger lady, because they are afraid, because the women, they get maturer quicker, right? You see, a 17 years old, if she get married to 26, the 26-year old will be in tough situation, because cannot handle the maturity that this young lady has. But I'm not gonna say that is right. No, no, that is totally wrong. We are in 21st century. Really, things need to be changed. If it has happened to our grandmothers and our mothers and things like that, it shouldn't happen to us, or even to your generation, guys, as the young ladies here.
hmm
It shouldn't happen to you. But I know for the fact that the ladies get maturer quicker than the guy. That is
yeah.
the fact right there, right? So maybe it could be a fear. If I married a lady that is 27
No,
years like me, she's gonna mop the floor with me.
it's
You get
it's
what
still
I'm
it's
saying?
still not acceptable, because you need a
Yes, no, 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 it's not
companionship.
acceptable.
You
Yeah,
need somebody to be a companion with you. So if you go marry a little girl, like, what are you gaining there? You know what I mean?
it's not right. It's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not right. There is imbalance in the power here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Okay, so William, do you have any? If you have anything to say, quick, I'm gonna share a video with you here, and also I will be warning you guys. But anyway, if you have something to say, William, your video is not up yet, William. You didn't manage to log.
I didn't have chance to set up the computer
Oh,
because
sorry about
we
that.
start already. I don't want to come and say, Where are we?"
Oh, okay. That's why I advise you to keep
Yeah, yeah.
one
I
running.
I
right
hear
to
you. I hear you. Your advice make me not to do it. Yeah.
fire. Okay. So, okay, go ahead. Do you think the woman in South Sudan, she's being abused? And if she is getting abused, from who?
Yes, I think already our sisters they answered it already, and I agreed with them. Yes, there is abuse going on there. Uh, you know, to devalue ourselves, that is a painful thing, right? Everybody need to be lifted up. That is what we want. We want to promote ourselves. But seeing the nation devaluing itself, that is so scary part. Because the dignity of a nation come from the way we treated ourselves, the way we value ourselves. If you said, even let's say the passport of America or passport of where, when you go have those passport, you said, or when you get the nationality, you become a citizen of those countries. We say yes. What is the reason? They're just human like you. Why is it so important to become Australian or Canadian or American or Germans? You know, the way they set up themselves, the way they treated themselves matter here. For us, we are more advanced than them. But now, because of their teaching, which we misinterpreted, that is destroying us today. When I'm saying we are better or advanced than the European, if you go to Southern Sudan before the countries, there is a system, there is a respect. Randid or Jalduong or there is a respect, you know, there is a norm. But now we are not seeing those now. As our sister said, if you are walking, the way you dress, you are in trouble. Imagine that you are dressed for a certain reason. Maybe you are going to have a party or gathering with your friend, and then now somebody is looking at you in different way. You know, so look at that behavior. It's scaring us that we are running out of uh, our value. So, uh, but if you look at the people of Southern Sudan, I I'm so proud of the people of Southern Sudan because the challenges that we came through from more than centuries, we overcome those challenges because of our identity, you know. So that is a very prestige identity we have. And then now we just throwing it into the garbage, by treating ourselves in that way. Yeah. So who have to be blamed? You know, the community, whether in Denka or Shuluk or Nuer or Anuak or Maban or Baria or Morle or whatever, there is Randit. Randit Masan in Denka, Jalduong in the Shuluk. In the Nuer command, I forget the word here.
No
So
worries.
whenever you go into the village, there is a person responsible at the level of that village. And when you go to the house, individual house, there is a person responsible, the head of that house. So those people, their duty is to maintain orders, is to regulate people behavior, you know, teaching us what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, what is wrong, what is right. Because human can do wrong thing, but there is a rule to be enforced. People will tell you this is wrong, is not acceptable by the community, and then now you adjust yourself. This is how we manage. We govern ourselves in that way. But no, The way we are seeing things going in Southern Sudan is so scary. There is a lot of our women who are very respectful. Now we have sexual objectification now in Southern Sudan. Like our sister, she just said, she's dressed, but now they misunderstood that because there is a culture saying that, you know, that is a sexual objectification of a woman. But before we look at the woman in that way, they are human as you described them in the beginning, Phil. They are our sister, they are our mother, they are our daughter, they are part of us, you know? So what is encouraging it? Yes, we are in a war, but the war comes with, uh, you know, in every society, we have to believe in evolution or transformation. And those things come with traits. We must have a characteristic or some way of empowerment or developmental program to empower our community in order to cope with the change. You know, I live in Canada. You know, I live in a very conservative community in Southern Sudan where people yell at their wife, where people yell at their children, where people beat up their wife, where people beat the children. But now, if I try to do it here, psychologically, I'm destroying my children, my family. Because the next day when they leave the house, I'm not going with them. They're going with their friend, meeting with many people. But now I have beaten them up, scaring them to death. Who will they be in that community? They are growing up. I'm no longer in Southern Sudan. I have to adopt a system here. So it's the same thing. In Southern Sudan, there is a change, and our government supposed to be um, planning for a program that will empower people. Supposed to be,
And that for
uh,
sure, we will
yeah,
come to that in the
yeah,
few questions to come.
I'm just finished. Supposed to
Okay.
be because you said that who to be blamed. Yes,
Yeah.
supposed to be to have a rule that when somebody is chasing somebody in the street, that is a criminality. That person should be punished, you know. But in the absence of the rule or empowerment program, and then pushing ahead or going ahead with a cultural practice, you know, which is no not real. You know, I don't think that the Danka in the villages they can accept what is going on in Juba. Shuluk in the village they can accept what is going on in Juba or in Malakal or in Benti or wherever. They will say no, not us. We were not like this. Then where we come from? And then we live in that life without the rule. So it's so scary. It's not good thing. Yeah. So, but I think, as you said, that our sisters they have they have opportunity to speak up. You know, we have to shame the people who are causing this situation. We have to expose them. You know, and there is a saying that is Eleanor from America. She said, "Nobody will let you down without your permission." So if the woman they are letting it go, they are giving permission for the abuser to continue this one. And they have to be blamed too because they accepted that. But they have to speak up as they are talking here now so that we together, because as Ayan said, not all the people in Southern Sudan who are bad. We have only a few bad apples So those apple, we want to expose them. We want to move them from the sack. So in order not to spoil the whole sack. Thank you, Pal.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, William. And I have to acknowledge also we have Pastor Chol Yat with us here. Thank you coming, Pastor Chol. He's from Australia too, but I know no, I'm not sure if you guys from the same cities or not. But thank you for coming, Pastor Chol. And later on, maybe I will give you a chance also to introduce yourself and join the conversation that we are having here. I think I'm not going to repeat this question that I asked earlier, but I asked everybody in the panelists to define what is a woman. They make their definition. I don't want to echo it back again to their ears. I may misquote something and go wrong. I don't want to do that. And also, I asked them to define what is abuse, and it was a lot of things that was mentioned right there. And the third question we were just asking them, if do you believe that there is abuse taking place in South Sudan? If yes, who is doing it? But now, as you're here, I'm going to jump to the second one where I promised to share a video. And what I'm trying to say here, please, the video that I'm going to share, first of all, it will need some interpretation. That is one thing. Secondly, please, we are not trying like to put like a label on the person, but I'm just trying to give this as an example. I thought that this, it could be abuse or a compliment when wrong, which can be considered as a sexual abuse. I know in the past there is a lot of women, every time they come to social media, they are crying, they are pleading for help, right? And it's not happening. I remember in the Radio Tamazij, there is a few ladies that was beaten to death just because accident happened and they become pregnant. Like, especially what sad me the most, there was a young lady, I think she's 9 or 11 years old. Her older sister, maybe 13 years or something like that, got pregnant. But it's very unfortunate. Her brother came and beat up the young one because the one that was expecting, she flee the home. But it was very unfortunate. They beat up this young lady. Just that because your sister got pregnant, you know where she is and things like that. She got beaten to death. Really, leave alone the raping that is happening in Juba, and you see people walk away in a state of put them to jail for life or even hang them if that is the thing, right? Because these are not acceptable. The abuse has become so much, right? So I'm just, there is a lot of voices. There was a lady that she was crying that because her children was taken from her. I think the husband, he has a little bit of power. Maybe he had money and all these kind of things. Beating the lady, taking the children out of her. To my point of view, like the small children, who is the best that they can be with? It's supposed to be their mother, not their stepmother. We learn a lot, like things a lot were been happening with the stepmothers that they don't take care of the children of their I don't know how do you call that thing in English. I think darra, they call it darra. I don't know who the mean.
Co-wives, yeah,
Co
co-wives.
wives, yeah, things like that. So if you looked at it, she was crying and her children was taken, right? So why don't you give her a chance? Let her raise her children and support her till they become adult, and then let them choose their way if they want to be with you as the father. But really beating her and taking the children, I think that is too much abuse. So I'm gonna put this video, please. I'm not demonizing the person, but I think it's just, and I'm using it as an example, and also I will need some interpretation. those who understand the language, could be Mabor or Ayan or Puk or Chol. If you guys understand the language, or William, you can translate it for us, because either in English or in Arabic. But I'm just thinking, like, so I'm gonna share it with you guys, and just patiently watch it, and one of you will help me with the interpretation, and then from there I will ask my question. Okay, so I'm gonna share it with you guys, and bear with me, and I will try to repeat it twice, so at least we get the grip of it.
Mình bắt tin anh phố cả đúng cái gì cái nữa tin bắt tin cái tem rồi là mà cái phố con gia càng yak là đi ra ngục của đi rồi ngục của đi là bắt đâm pa của tel banyai because cái đó cái gì mình lakini cái karom cái rom cái khúc cái tin đun trong cái mục bắp rồi miên anh nhận rồi coi cái đó là chân ai bây giờ phải first of all shakhsiyat al-fuzioniya.
Let me try to play it again, so at least somebody can help me with the interpretation of it. And of course, you know what? We are here to disagree, to agree. Okay, so no one is right here. I could be wrong, right? And you guys correct me. Let me play it again, and I will need one of you to do the interpretation for me.
Mình bắt tin anh phố cả đúng cái gì cái nữa tin bắt tin cái tem rồi là mà cái phố con gia càng yak là đi ra ngục của đi rồi ngục của đi là bắt đâm pa của tel banyai because cái đó cái gì mình lakini cái karom cái rom cái khúc cái tin đun trong cái mục bắp rồi miên anh nhận rồi coi cái đó là chân ai bây giờ phải first of all shakhsiyat al-fuzioniya.
My Tongmonjang is not that good, and I don't know. Do I need to blame it on my wife that she didn't teach me Tongmonjang? I'm not sure of that, but yes, I didn't understand all of it. I understand few, but some of it is like deep language there. I couldn't understand it. Is anyone want to help me with the interpretation? And please, if there is any word that you think it's not really reasonable word to use, you can avoid that, no problem. It just later on, I just need to understand your view on that. Any volunteer want to translate? Okay, Mabur, can you translate that for me? And then later on, and please, it's not about the person, but it's just I need to understand what was being said, because it was being played in social media a lot. It seemed like a lot of people didn't like what the comment that was made. I rather, for me, showing the words, not the bleeding and the blood and the cutting and things like that. Right, so I don't know if it is too much. Then we can skip it. I don't know. Somebody advise me.
Thank you.
Wait, Ayan want to say something.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I don't want to say nothing.
Okay, good. Okay, then you know what? No translation. Let's just leave it like that. But here, let me question.
Let me put something here. You know, we cannot let
I want to be sure that also we are not trying to shame anybody here. But what I'm trying to say, from what I heard, people are saying, I think it's enshrined with what we are talking about. Like, this is another kind of abuse. Or if it was a compliment went wrong, it was a compliment went wrong, or this is a kind of abuse that we are talking about.
can I just add something, if you don't
Yes,
mind? Was
please.
anyone willing to translate? This is, there's nothing to be afraid about to speak up. Some of us have spoken about this on our own social media platform, and we've had our opinion. Did you still want the video to be translated, or do you want us to just go straight into the analysis of what was said
If
in
you
the video?
think, if I don't know, you measure it, right?
Yeah.
You
Well,
measure it,
this is what I wrote last time on my own Facebook,
yeah.
as a Facebook status of what was said in the video. Let me just try to bring it up, because it's good sometimes to say it word for word, you know.
Wait,
So let me just try to bring it up
before
on
you
my phone, and I
translate
can
it,
just read it out from you in English.
before you
want to
translate
tell you
it,
something.
I just want to define what type of abuse that was. That
It could, maybe it's not an abuse.
Sexual harassment in
Thank
my
you.
term of abuse. If
Mabod, wait. Ayan is talking. Yeah.
that's all I wanted to say. To that video, when I listened to it, it's a definition of sexual harassment, you know. Not just, it's toward the woman. Even the women around there shouldn't be comfortable to sit and listen to that. You know, they should have spoke up. You know, but once again, in our society that we live in, women have no voice. So all they can do is just laugh about it, you know?
I heard you.
Thank you.
Okay. Apuk, go ahead. Yeah, Apuk, go ahead.
Let Brother Mabur talk first, and then I'll read it out, because I have it here. I wrote it on Facebook. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I hope what I will say also too will be related to what Apuk wrote. You know, thank you, Sister Ayan, and all hosts in the shows. You know what I'm trying to back up what Ayan said. You know, what was being said into that video, you know, is beyond abuse to me. Why I say it's beyond abuse, it shocked me. It shocked me because if you're using your power, because what he's using is a power, you know, he's using
always
a power.
Those who are abusive, they use power for sure. Money, position, muscles.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the power that he used, because he said, I'm the one who have a power here. I can say anything and nobody will say anything. And that's why I can see those ladies at that place, they even stop smiling because what they seen is not right. You know, it's not right for them. And come to that, you guys talk about those two things before. You know, I will mention something. What is the definition of a woman? Woman in this world is everything. Without a woman, then nothing in the world. There will be have no world. There will be have nothing called population. To me, on my definition, if there's no woman, no definition of the human in this world. On my own definition that I see, no woman, no other mankind in this world.
She's everything in anything at all time.
At all, and that's my definition. And also too, she should be respected. She's not yet a mother. She's already a mother. She's a grandmother. She needs to be respected. And that's my definition. And even also too, the cost that I always see, that if Sister Ayat did not mentioned this, I could not remind people also too. She said, even here in the Western world, people are abused. Yes, I know that. People are doing sexual harassment here in North America by posting pictures that without permission from the mother or from anybody, a man or a woman. This is exactly a part of the same what is going on in Juba. You know, we should not talk, but in overseas, yes, it say in South Sudan, which means I involve myself also too. I have to revise myself. Don't forget that it's only Juba, only me also too. Me as I am here. I have to revise myself in that kind of. So do you? If you are a man in Western world here also too, you have to revise yourself the way you act. Let's give a chance to person that bring the nation, because no woman, no anybody in this world.
No nation.
Back to you.
Thank you. I think Sister Apuk volunteered to explain that to us, so at least those who don't understand the language can have a right understanding. Go ahead, Sister Apuk.
Yes. This is how I translated this on my social media platform. So if I didn't translate directly, please forgive me. But based on, what I perceive, this is what he said. If I see a woman, so think a good woman or a beautiful woman, my heart blacks out. Something like that. If I see a good woman passing near me, my heart starts to shake and I feel like vomiting. I feel like doing something like pulling her or grabbing her so that I can take her, because this is something in the blood. So it's genetic to him. However, if you haven't met the right one, then just look after the one wife you have, because she is a strong girl. And then he added this, people in the hall, here are many, and in the video cards. So really, if you look at we're not just talking about an ordinary person here. It's still not acceptable for anyone that does not have a position of anything to even talk like that, let alone a press secretary of the president of South Sudan. So to me, like Sister Ian said before, this is categorized as a abuse, and it's called teasing in English. So, and what does that mean? It means the making of unwanted sexual remarks or advances by a man to a woman in a public place. That's exactly what he did. So when people try to make it look as if, it's an what do you call it? He's trying to. There was something that you said before.
I thought that it's a compliment went wrong.
Compliment, yeah. When people try to make it look as if it's a compliment, that is not a compliment. It's quite highly sexual in nature, and this is coming from someone that is in the position of power. So to me, as an individual, the reason why a lot of women were making a big deal, like not only just women, but the people of South Sudan, men included, is because it is concerning. If someone that is in the power position, okay, is addressing the nation, because to him, this is what, there was an interview that was done in SBS Dinka, and he claimed that, I was not representing the president at that time, I was just invited, it was a private event, I have a private life. Well, excuse me, we understand that you have a private life, but you need to be very mindful when you are addressing the public, whether it's at nighttime, whether it's in a family event, whether it's a community event, whatever you say will be used against you, because you are representing the people of South Sudan. If you have that title as the press secretary, if you have that title,
your voice.
Yep, sorry, someone just called me and interrupted the show. I apologize.
Oh, okay, sorry about that.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to get at here, this is very concerning, because this is someone that should be when he's talking at any event, he should be mindful of what he says because he's representing the voices. If he was not in that position, what are the chances of him being invited in some events? What are the chances of him even having to have a chance to speak in these events? Yes, maybe as a close friend or whatever, he could be invited. But what Attorney Wek Attorney needs to understand is this, okay? He has to be very careful because he's a public figure. And when you are a public figure, okay, whatever you say, people will react to it. He needs to be mindful. And when women were asking for him to apologize, he said no. He's not apologizing to anyone because to him it's culture. It's okay for him to speak to women however he pleases. What difference is it? For example, I was speaking about my experience in South Sudan before. What sort of messages he's sending to young men? I remember in the streets of Wow, me and my little cousin, that time she was 15 years old, we were walking to the shop. This young man was calling us, and I told her, ignore him. We kept on walking. Guess what he did? He took a rock and he threw it at us because we couldn't talk to him. So really, is that categorized as an abuse? Of course it is an abuse. But so imagine someone in power speaking about women. Or if I see a beautiful woman, I just feel like grabbing her. Can you imagine the women that are in his office? How would they feel? And who knows what's going on? The fact that he has been accused over and over and over again of sexual harassment. And no one is listening because people say things like, oh, you're just making it up because he's in the office and you want to take his job, you want to take his position. I don't personally know him. I live in Australia. I don't need his job. However, I'm fearing women, beautiful young women that would be around him and how he would feel around. He's speaking about his sexual urges. That's what he's saying publicly to the people of South Sudan, that I can't control and I don't have discipline. So people really need to be careful. I understand there are a lot of people out there that are trying to protect him. Don't protect sexual predators because you never know. Maybe nothing happened to your sister, but tomorrow it could be you. And these are government officials. So I'm not happy with what he did. And he has to come out and publicly apologize. He refused. Bluntly, he said, I'm not apologizing. I'm more than happy to resign my position. So look at that kind of attitude coming from the leaders. So how would women feel that? If someone in power, someone in position cannot apologize for what he has said, can you imagine how vulnerable the women are? The women of South Sudan, very vulnerable. This is someone that is supposed to be protecting us, but he's, doing what he's doing. Please go ahead.
Yeah, and as you
We can't hear you.
Oh, okay. My bad, my bad. So I was saying, thank you so much, Apuk, for translating that video clip for us, and that for sure will give us a ground now. We can speak now because I thought that is it a compliment went wrong because I'm not gonna say something and if I want to make a compliment to woman that I think she's beautiful, what will bring the throw up? Why throwing up? Why throwing up? Right? So you throw up for something gross, and not just only that, grabbing her, taking her. Why? And if I heard correctly, and he say. The guys who have very strong ladies is really a strong lady. You hold on her tight. So is it is it also you're growing? You're going to take a woman who are married out of their husband hands. What is that? What is that? Like this is beyond abuse. So as I'm saying, if people are asking him to apologize and he don't want to apologize, he say I rather resign. I think he should resign. He should resign. This is not a place for him. Okay, and that is where I think also the leadership of the country really need to look into this very closely and really relieve him of like firing him. But anyway, that is not my view. but I want you guys also to talk about it. And that is where I will come to this question. If you are in the position of power, okay, or the leadership of the country, what would you do for such a person like this? Because it's not only him, there is a lot of them, lot of generals, lot of who like really that are doing this, and no one doing anything. I remember Babala when he was a commissioner of, he was a mayor of Juba. He destroyed a lot of lodges because the thing that was happening there, it was wrong morally. It was so bad, and he have to take those. I think after that they fire him, and because people think that he was doing wrong. This is he's killing our business, while they're supposed to know really what is happening in those lodges. It was so bad. It was so bad, right? So if you are in the place of power, what would you do? Chual, you just came. Maybe let me give you the chance to introduce yourself and also answer the fourth question that we are at. And we want to hear from you. So if you are in the position of power, and of course the ladies will come also, the same question I want you all to answer. If you are in the position of power, like the leadership of the country, what would you do for such a people like this?
First
Go
of
ahead.
all, I think there is something that we need to understand about this guy or anyone like him. First of all, we need to know that there is no law in South Sudan that makes people fear and conduct themselves respectfully. Because there is no law, anyone says what they have in mind. This is one thing we need to know first. Secondly, this man, of course, must have, and this is a question from my mind, does this man has a wife? And if that is right, what his wife would say about this? The third thing that I want to say also is this. You know, when you call a person to speak in public event, first of all, you must know what his profession, what is he going to say. For example, you cannot call like a baker to come and talk about, for example, first aid. Somebody who works in like a bakery. What would he say where in an event where you teach people about first aid? He would give nothing. So this man was called to speak in that place, and I don't think he had an idea or a topic to address in that place. That's why, and this is normal in our society, South Sudan, people do not apologize when they are called into a wrong event for them. They want to say anything. And now he has the right to say anything because he's got nothing to say. And I can give him right because he's invited into an event that he has nothing to do with. I don't know exactly what the event was, but from the way I see the spectators, the people sitting, it looks like many of them are women. And if that is right, or families, if that is right, then a person who should speak in that event should be a person who's an expert in family or something like that. But and this is an advice from me to our communities and societies. When you call somebody to speak, you alert them beforehand, give them enough time, give them the topic, and make them know what is the target, so that when they come prepared, and also they come with a relevant topic to the event, to avoid things like this. Because not only like an insult to the society, but also to himself. All right? Because this shows that this man has nothing to offer. If he's an expert somewhere else, but definitely in this event, he failed to express himself as he should. The last point I want to stop at is that it's not a compliment. It's not. It's not a compliment, but is a failing speech in a wrong position from a wrong person. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Chol. I think, yeah, you said a lot of good points there, and thank you so much for coming. This is Pastor Chol Yat. I think he's from Australia, but I don't know he's a pastor of which church. But I asked him to introduce himself first, but he went jump into the point, which is okay. It's okay too for the sake of time. But sorry, you want to say something?
Mr. Chol Yat, I'm a minister in Presbyterian Church of Australia. And yeah, I think I'm a father of 4. I'm married. Yes, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Pastor Cho.
But one thing I want to add is because you asked about what is a woman.
Oh, okay.
One minister, one preacher says a woman is like like a incubator. Incubator is like a device where eggs are put to produce kittens. Yes? So what does that mean? It means that a woman in so many areas is a device, is a person, is an entity that you give something little, she produces more. You give something that is not organized, she brings up or out something beautiful. So just to conclude this point is that a woman is not a house, but a woman is a home where everybody feels everything.
She's the center of our being.
The center of life.
I know, even though, yes, at the preacher point of view, the center will be the Christ, but I think in the normal way of the culture, we're supposed to look at the woman as the center of everything that we around
so
her.
now, because our women are not really cared for, we've got no home in South Sudan. We've got even in so many places where you see our society is in a chaotic situation because woman is not cared for.
And that should enshrine with the word that say, if you educate a woman, you educate the whole village or the whole society.
That's why the Bible says to find a woman is like a precious stone, very expensive.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. So I will give the ladies the chance at the end, because this is meant for them. If they are in the position of power, what would they do for such a person like this? But William, can you come and tell us, before the ladies give us their point of view? If they are in the position of power, what would they do to such a person like this? But William, can you come? If you are in the position of power, what will you do to such a person like this?
Yeah, thank you again.
And Joel, you
Uh,
can mute yourself. Mhm.
yeah, it is very unfortunate that the person from the highest office in Southern Sudan can conduct himself in such a way. But as you said, if looking at the video, things the speech was not welcome. You can see the body language. This is what I can can conclude. Uh, you know, traditional South Sudan, the family of any person to be abused, they act as a police. I saw people being, or brothers, fathers, cousin, or one brothers can go and attack a person who abused a sister or whoever in the family. And then if that person is defended by his relative, and then this family will go. That is how we react to the abuse, if there is abuse. In North America, where we are, or in Australia, the police here act as a relative of victim. I think in America, there are more than 30 celebrities that has been accused and jailed for sexual assault, including Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby, who is in jail now because they abuse their power and they cause a damage on people, you know. So in America, we remember Bill Clinton almost
Sorry,
lost.
William.
Uh,
Mabor, can you bring Joel in? I think some. So okay, yeah. Thank you. Go ahead. Yeah, because he was.
yeah.
Yeah,
So in
go ahead.
America, Bill Clinton almost lost his power because of accusation that no accusation by the lady who worked in her office, Lewinsky. I'm forgetting the name.
I think
So
she was Monica.
yes,
Monica Lewinsky,
so,
something like
so
that.
there is a rule. When there is abuse, there is a rule. But as Scholl said, we have to accept that there is no rule in Southern Sudan that can enforce. The rule before this modern Southern Sudan, it was in the hand of the relatives, as I said. I agree with what Scholl said, Simon and Pell said, that this guy, whether he like it or he don't like it, that is a public's opinion. He should resign. Or if he don't, the President Salva Kiir should fire him. And of course, if the president support this behavior, and that will show us that is actually not a weak thing who is wrong, but that is a culture of the presidential office. And if the president accept those things or those culture around him, that is abuse, as Choal said, abuse of the entire nations and nation institutions. Because this person who come without the respect to the mother, to the other woman, and to even his own family, if he has, as Choal said, that is not acceptable, and that is not a Southern Sudan we fought for, and we are hoping for to build. So it's an insult to the entire nation and abuse of the nation institutions, which is not good. So why this guy is making this talking? I think he know that there are many vulnerable girl and women, including wives, who are very vulnerable. I think there was a policeman who was imprisoned for having a sexual relationship with 8 years daughters, and he used that was in the news, I think last month. He used to give the girl a candy, so luring the girl, giving a candy, and then he did this sexual intercourse with her 8 years daughters. So I think this guy, I think he know that.
When you say daughter, that is his daughter,
No, no.
or
Is
younger?
another daughter. Is another
Yeah,
daughter
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So candy being used here to lure the girl to that. But this guy now is saying, "Look, you guy, I'm a rich person. I'm in the presidential office. I'm the one who can do this. I'm the one who can do it. But you know what? I love women. So he's opening the door. He's inviting everybody so that you don't scare. The office is for you. Come." So, and of course, he's a fishing, he's hunting. So those women were said, okay, I can just go and do a makeup, because the country is in a poverty. But if the guy there is inviting, and then you go there and he do whatever he want, and then you get little money, that is okay, because you are so vulnerable. So he's
So actually,
exposing himself.
he was selling himself. This is
He's
what I do.
he's marketing himself. Yes,
Yeah,
he's marketing himself, and he's opening the door that don't deny this office is for you. You
yeah.
see, so that's why your call for this man to resign is legit, and this is the only, unless if he don't kill himself, because many people commit suicide when they are caught in that public scandal. There is, if you are a human, you have really a sense of humanity, and then you are caught in this, that is, you can even end your life. But at least what you can do, resign, and that can take the guilt. People can still respect you, that yes, because everybody is open to commit anything wrong, but when you acknowledge and you said, I'm sorry, and then people will forgive you, and then you can emerge as a strong person, because you acknowledge what was wrong, and you proven to people that is not you actually. So you are resigning, and then you are proving to people that you are a good person more than what you did. But of course, if you don't have those feelings, he will not listen to anybody until it is too late. Until it is too late, because the human is more powerful. God even said, "Don't judge." This is what, and we saw it from our own children. If you say don't do this, they will do it opposite. Don't do it. When you tell a human don't do it, they will do it opposite. Because that is right there, the word of God, don't judge. You didn't create them. But when you start coming and say, I'm judging you, I'm doing this on you, I'm doing this on you, your time will come, like what happened to the Bashir or to the many important people in the world, you know. But if we are managing ourselves that yes, everybody can do wrong, you can abuse the power, but you will sit down and say, wait a minute, I shouldn't have done it that way. That is how we really overcome the situation. But it's so unacceptable, and we are not calling him to be put in jail. But as I said, Bill Cosby, an American comedian, is a very, very wealthy person, and you have Harvey Weinstein. You can see him now how he broke his back right away when he was arrested. You know, he's a Hollywood guy. So those are the things at him or whoever, they need to be aware that human need to be treated with the dignity, with the respect, and the power we have should be used in the way God meant. God tell us that the greatest among you is the servant. And we all know it. When you become a parent, you know you wake up the first person in morning and you sleep the last person in night. When your child cry in the night, you are the one who you will not sleep because you are a great person at that home, you know. So if he is a great person, he should use his power in a right way to protect the vulnerable people of Southern Sudan, whether a
Thank
woman, whether a girl, you know.
thank you so much, William. Uh,
I'm going to excuse myself soon because I have to be somewhere. And
yeah,
yeah.
and yeah, I know you, all of us, you guys are busy there, but really, I need to hear your view on this one. Uh, I know there is two more questions later on coming, but I can just read them out. Like the fifth question will be like about do you believe in the woman role, and there the role is role, sorry about that, like there is a mistype there. So the role of the woman toward the nation building. So do you believe in the woman role toward the nation building? That is the first question. And also like maybe, and this will be for the guys later on, in a word of the solidarity that they can express toward the women of South Sudan. But these are the two questions that left, and of course, as you all of you speak, be mindful with the time, so all of us also we can get out at the same time. But uh, Apuk, as you go, so what would you do for somebody like that if you are in the position of power? Because you tried to mention something earlier about the system, about all what is going on there. Maybe as Troll mentioned, there is no law or rule of law that really can bring somebody like this to book. So what would you do if you are in the position of power? What would you do to somebody like this?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Look, generally, when it comes to any sort of abuse, the most important thing is having proper laws and legislations in
Your
place.
voice a little bit is not clear. Is leave
Can you hear me or no?
uh,
No?
okay, go ahead. Maybe
Yeah,
you
you
were
can hear
far
me
away.
now?
Yes, it's good now.
Yeah, what I was trying to say is it's very important that we have proper guidelines, rule of law, or proper legislations in place to ensure that people that are vulnerable in our society are being protected by anyone that deemed themselves to be in a position of power, or even anyone that feels like they have the power to control anyone or to abuse or whatever it is. So it's very important that in South Sudan we have legislations that are put in place, and the rules have to be very tight. It doesn't matter who's breaking the rule. you have to, justice has to be served. It doesn't matter whether it's the president, the people in the government, church leaders, anyone. It doesn't. The law is not above anyone. But the sad thing is, I feel like we are practicing the law in South Sudan very superficially. Someone brought up an example before of a woman, a young woman that was married to someone that was in position of power, and that had, not in position of power, but they had, you know, the financial leverage. So meaning that they had the money to bribe the police and bribe, the law enforcers themselves. So we really need to wake up as a country, and a lot of you have put a great emphasis on women and the importance of women and the value that women brings into our society. And if they're not protected, then we're going to have a very fragile community and also a fragile country. As we all know, all over the world, the things that we're talking about right now are things that have been affecting a lot of countries globally. It's not just South Sudan. But how did they overcome this? Is through introducing really tough law and punishing people that are breaking the law or people that are abusing the law. And that's how they overcame these issues that we're experiencing right now. The idea or the notion of women right did not start now. It started from like 19th century. Women have been trying to, fight for their rights. Women have been trying to speak up about the ways that they've been treated or the things that they're being subjected to against their will. So we have a long way to go as South Sudanese, but we don't have to go a long way. We can start now very, very slowly. Let's start with enforcing the law. Let's start protecting our little ones, so children and women and anyone that is vulnerable. When I say vulnerable, also men. Some men are vulnerable. Okay, some men do experience some form of abuse as well from the hands of women that deem themselves as powerful as well. Anyone can be an abuser, let's be realistic. Okay, so that's one thing. Another thing, we need to have programs in place, a safe space where people that are being abused can go to so that they can express their concerns, or there's a helping hand. We need to have these programs in place as well. And also, this is something that has to be done from a government level. Yes, communities can try their best to put things in place, but remember, we have to set the example from up here and then go to the grassroots. Okay, I know sometimes, yes, communities say things like, oh, let's start at the grassroots and then go up to the government level, but no, sometimes the government, with things like that, it has to start from the government and then we go to the grassroots, because gender-based violence, family abuse, things like that are real, and every single day there's a woman, there's a man dying as a result of domestic violence or any form of abuse as well. So it's quite serious. We need to wake up as a community, and we need to stop being in denial. Because I know that sometimes when we speak about women's rights, when we speak about domestic abuses, there are a lot of men that condemn it. They try to silence you as much as they can. They'll say things like, oh, what do you mean? So are you saying that men are not abused? Why is it that it's always women that are being abused? Oh, you're trying to change our culture. Why would you why would you question traditional values and belief, to an extent where people go very extreme to sort of try and silence women that are very vocal about these issues, or put them into a category of a bad woman, a woman that is not disciplined, a woman that think they're too educated, they want to change our culture. But we're not here to change anyone's mind. We're not here to change anyone's culture or perception. We're just saying, hey, this is human rights. This is, can we protect ourselves so that we can have a strong community? Because women have a role to play in that country. In development of any country, it's very important. There's one. I'm sorry, I'm going to go back a little bit. There's one thing that I want to add. In terms of financial contribution, there are some men in South Sudan that refuse to allow their wife to go and work. And I don't blame them sometimes. Yes, it is an abuse, but I don't blame them. They just don't trust the people that the women are going to work for. Let's be realistic. For example, if I was married, do you think, listening to this video, do you think my husband would have ever allowed me to go and work for in the office of 10 work at 10? Of course not. He would say, he would fear. that, you know, if you go there, you would probably be sexually abused, or these people will go and do things to brainwash you so that you know, you come home and you change your mind about them. So there's a lot of things that we really need to look at, but it has to start from a government level. You know, we need to enforce the law. If it's the law enforcers that are breaking it, and then what sort of example you're setting to the communities, it means that anyone can do whatever they want to do. I don't know, like the people that used to be in Khartoum, there's this concept that Sudanese like to use, like maroon kaltan. You know that concept? In Australia, if you're driving on the road and you cause an accident, you know, you're liable. It doesn't matter whether you were in the right. They will tell you, like, well, look, you know, were you negligent? They will try to assess every possibility to see whether or not you really had no control, you know, to stop that accident from happening. We need to start behaving like that. Let's not assume that, you know, it's this person problem, they caused this problem, it's their problem. No, it's not their problem, it's our problem. If we start seeing things as a community, we will go forward. So really, guys, domestic abuse is real. Violence against women is real. It's not even a joke, and we need to take it very seriously. I just want to thank all of you. I have to go now. I have to be somewhere. Please continue with the show, and I just wanted to say thank you to Juan for inviting me, and also to the Nile Nation Network for allowing me to express my view and opinion. Everything that I said here today is based on my own personal opinion. If you don't agree, it's fine. If you disagree, that's okay as well. If you agree, that's perfect. But let's just respect ourselves, and let's share our ideas to community, because that's the only way that we can develop and prosper as a community. So thank you all, to everyone, all the guests that
And
tuned
thank
in, and
you.
to the viewers as well.
And
Thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sister Apuk, for coming, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Brother Pat, before I put left, I want
She
to
left.
add something. Oh, she's
She left
okay.
already.
Yes,
But
okay.
she will watch the
All right.
video maybe later on and things like that. So, Sister Ayan, I know it's. I don't know what time you have there. It seems like it's getting
Yeah.
late at night or something like that. But thank you for being with us. Like, what do you think if you're in the position of power? Like, really, what would you do to such a people like this?
Um, at the end of the day, this is what I have to say. Um, being in a position, like being in a powerful position, you always have to conduct yourself in a respectful way, no matter where you are, family occasion, because people are watching. Not everybody that comes to the family occasion is your family member. You know what I mean? So the video itself, it's disrespectful, you know. And at this point, he wasn't talking as a grown man. He was talking as a young shabab. Matter of fact, a thug. That's how a thug would talk. You know what I mean? That's how a young boy would talk. He was not talking as a grown man. And that's not the type of things you even say at a wedding. You know, at a wedding, as a man or a woman that is invited to be a guest speaker, a special guest speaker, when they come to such an occasion, their speech is supposed to be set and ready to go. And when they speak, they don't speak about things like that. They speak about how this girl's gonna go take care of her house, how this man is supposed to go take care of his house, how they're supposed to be family. Not about you vomiting when you see a pretty girl, or when you see a pretty girl you grab a pretty girl. You know, that's not that was a mistake, and he does deserve to come out and speak publicly, because it was public. You see what I'm saying? It was
Yeah.
put in public. So when something is put in public, and your audience, and mind you, the person is a well-known person, He's a well-known person. So sometimes you have to put your ego and pride aside and see where things went wrong and come up and speak. And at this point, if he doesn't want to do that, then he does not deserve to hold a high position. And if he cannot speak in public, then you should not be invited to be a special guest speaker. you know and one thing is that kind of scare a lot of us young women, that are some that are growing to be politicians, and now they think this is their way of getting a position. Oh, I have to look good, I have to dress with short skirt, let me to go to the office looking like this so they can see me. Oh, I'm pretty. And we're not sex object.
Yeah.
Women are not sex tool. We're not sex object. We should not be seen as sex object. If I go in and go for an interview, I want to go to an interview and the outcome is right here. I got the
Yeah.
position because of what I have, the knowledge that I have, and what I'm going to bring to the table, not what I'm going to give to the table. You see? And it's sad because I see I also see a lot of women go on social media, especially when a woman get a position in the government office. A lot of people, the first thing that the first thing that comes to their head is, what did she do to get in that position? Because she's not even qualified for that position. I've heard a lot of that in social media, and there's a lot of people that have this bad misconception of any woman that holds a high position in the office, she's given her special treasure, you know, so she can get that position. And 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 why do we need to ruin that for the upcoming generation? Because at the end of the day, as a leader, you're supposed to show a good example for the coming generation. And if you cannot show that good example, just peacefully say, I can't hold this position anymore. You cannot let your power take over you, where you think it's okay for you to go and talk the way you want to talk, because that's not the way to go. Even here in America, in the diaspora here, a lot of people that hold high position, 20 years, somebody comes up and brings out all the allegations that they have done, all the sexual abuse, the harassments. There's a lot of people went down because of that. And if we cannot put laws in place to protect women, and also, you know, we can't just make the men look bad also, because there are some women that are manipulatives, it's not just. So for my sisters is, represent yourself, you represent yourself in a way where people will know, like, I'm serious, I came here to do my job. And if anything like that occurs in your work field, speak up, protect yourself. You'd rather not have a job than to be sexually abused or sexually harassed, you know so maybe that place is not for you. So for him, he should come out publicly and apologize. And if he does not come out publicly and apologize, he should resign. He should resign. And this is not the first allegation. He's been saying, this man has been all over social media for so many years. As I follow the social media, he's been, and I nothing good that people talk about. There's nothing good that I see that he has done. It's always people saying bad things about him, you know. And it's sad that our women have to go through such things, and that people that we look up to speak in such a way, you know, they can, like, you gotta be educator. You have to educate our generation. You have to be, the, give us wisdom, not trash talk or, oh, this, if a woman, beautiful woman, like, that's just ridiculous. And it's sad that it's coming from the government, people that are in the government position. Is sad. So if that's coming from government position, imagine the ordinary, like the regular citizens, what they're doing. You know, it it's deep. It's really deep, and I just wish that he puts his pride aside and he just comes peacefully and just apologize to his audience, the people that watch the video, and that's all. It's not that hard. It's
And to the
simple.
people that the ladies that were in the event itself, he need to
Yeah.
apologize. Yeah. Mhm.
Mhm. It's it's really ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it,
So, go ahead. Yeah.
like, those things happen a lot. Like, those things are happening and it's real, and I'm glad that our country is technologically is developing, and it's exposing so many things, because I like 2013, technology was not even that big in South Sudan. So this is not the end of it. A lot, God forbid, but a lot of more incidents are going to be exposed. A lot of things are going to be exposed, and they're going to show their true self. And it's us citizens to condemn it, to come up and speak about it, and just let the people know, like, this is wrong. So for those that are behind the keyboard, that are supporting it, you have to look at it in a deeper angle. You know, sometimes words are
Maybe
harmful.
those who are supporting him, maybe also they are abusive
Mm-hmm.
themselves,
That's what I'm
because
saying.
as the word says, same feather flock together.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they
Words
are
are
from the same feather. Yeah.
words are more harmful than even action itself, because they can say something and then that will turn into an action, and it probably already did turn into an action, because
Or
nobody can just say something and no, it's that mean you're living it. You're living what you're saying, you see. So it's time. It will take time. Everything takes time, and as the media keeps going, more things are going to be exposed, and a lot of things are going to come out, and a lot of people are going to learn a lot of things, and it's all about learning and building. That's it.
Thank you so much, Sister Ayan. But it's still like two more questions that we want to cover, and then from there we can close our show. The maybe this one we can do it very quickly, as uh, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes here, for three of you, if you can make your comment. Do you believe in a woman role in nation building? And if you believe in that, you can give us three examples, which areas that you believe the woman can contribute in the nation building. So let me start with William Goldit.
Yeah, thank you for question, Pal. I, you
Do you
know,
believe? Go ahead.
yeah, when we talk about equality, it doesn't mean that we have to allocate a certain position or wealth according to what we want, but we have to avail those resources to everybody. So every person will have her or his equal portion according to the ability they have. For example, if a woman wants to be an engineer and she has a capacity, and then the equality policy will make what she deserves to access that position, you know? Yeah. So, which means that a woman should be allowed in a competition, whatever they have a passion in it, they should be empowered and allowed to do that because their contribution is Scholl said before that they are central, and you supported that of everything. Then we cannot build a nation without them, you know. So they need to be acknowledged that their contribution is very important, and then they have to be encouraged and empowered. So first thing, to acknowledge them that their contribution is very important in nation building, and then we encourage them and then empower them, you know. So the woman, again, if we go back, you know, the role the woman play, as you put it, even in our house, in our own house, I don't know if we really own those houses. We just come sit on a computer sometime or doing whatever, but sometimes we just ask the woman, where is my shirt? Your own jacket, you have to ask, where is it? And then they will say, yeah, it's right there. So the woman contribution is so huge from home to the community, you know, and we know it from the Bible, you know. Jesus used women a lot because there is a trust there. So if we trust our own women that they can help us in a nation building, we need to acknowledge them, we need to appreciate them, we need to encourage them and empower them. So the availability of resources we provide for them will make them to decide in which area they will be able to help. Yeah, I think that is what I can say. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Goldit. Pastor Chol, do you believe in women building? And if you do, in which areas do you think? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
I
Yeah.
think you have already mentioned something that if you want to build a society, you build a woman first. Because all of us now, we are South Sudanese who are now talking, and you cannot be as what you want to be without being being brought up by a woman. Our fathers, they are breadwinners, but our makeup is from our mothers. Your mother teaches you about your relatives, teaches you about your how to respect your father, teaches you about how to, when you become like an older boy, how to marry a good woman. And all of us, I don't think None of us is excluded. Each man wants to marry a woman like his mother, a woman like his mother in everything. So it means without a mother, no daughters would respect themselves in the street. Without a woman, no boy would think of marrying a good woman, a woman who would bring up children, a woman who would clean the house, who would provide food and prepare food for his children or for himself, a woman who would, like my brother just said, who would take care of my properties. You know, since I got married about 24 years ago, I stopped ironing my clothes because my wife would do that. Yeah. So to appear in the public, who polishes you first is a woman. So you say that we are not going to send women into street and to offices and to companies and factories, even from home. If we have good homes, then now the country as a whole is made up in a way that everything would fall in its right place. So I just want to stop at this in relation to how to promote, how to encourage, how to develop a woman for a greater society. From home, at least, if we give them the support that they need to do the home affairs right, then the country now, the society now is right. If I can take my 30 seconds to go back to the first question that was answered by so many of us, that if you are in a
position of power,
what would you do
to this person?
You
Sorry
know,
about that. If I didn't give you that
no,
chance,
it's all right. It's all right. I want to
it's good that you remember. Yeah,
I want
go
to
ahead.
squeeze my question into this little
Yeah, no
time.
problem. Go ahead. Yeah.
You know, just to ask women about their interest and how they define a good government and include their opinion into the law is enough. You can ask. You go to the communities and ask them, what would you women do want to be treated? How do you want to be treated? By your own husband, by the police, by the government, by the hospital, all this. You know what they would come out with? Just include it into the power, into the law, and now you have done everything. Even including marriage, because now as a community, as a society, South Sudan, who want to say, no, our culture is to marry more than one woman. You ask a woman, what do you think about this? Knowing that so many men have died in the war, what would you want to be treated? All of them, you ask them, and let what they will come up with is the answer. Is the answer. And if you hold onto it tightly, then now you have a very good society, because now you are governing from the point of view of the person you are governing now. And that's what I would say. If I'm in a place of power, I would come down to the woman and ask her, how do you want me to treat you, even including or making them aware that so many men now have died and there will be so many girls without husbands. How do you want to be treated in that situation? The answer will make a very good government. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now for three of you as the guys, Mabor, William, and Chor. Okay. The last thing that I put here, uh, in support of women, and I want you to be in solidarity with them. They are not here. They were here. They left because they have other reasons. But for these great women of South Sudan, what will be the word of solidarity that you want to tell them tonight? Or maybe in the case of Joel in Australia, it's in afternoon or today. So what are the words that really you want to put forth? And this video will be watched for maybe many years to come. What are the words that you want to be captured here as a word of solidarity, as your voice for the woman that is being abused, the woman that we know she is a mother, she is a sister, she is a daughter, she is a grandma, she's your doctor, she is your in some cases maybe your pastor too, and she is your manager. She's so this powerful woman here. What will be the word of solidarity that you want to tell them today? If you will allow me to go, William, first, and this will be the last question for our show. Uh, what is it will be before Mabor come and Chol will you will come at last. So what will be the word of solidarity that you want to put forth tonight, or in the case of Chol is the daytime? Go ahead, William.
Yeah, I think we are not creating the solidarity, but we are enforcing our value that we are a good nation and we will remain always a good nation, doing a right thing and denouncing a wrong behavior or evil behavior. This is what we are denouncing today. And by denouncing this, we are supporting and showing our solidarity and uh, affirming that this behavior is not the culture of Southern Sudan and it have to be condemned. And we have the most thing that we have to make sure we have to denounce this is by encouraging women. Because if we don't speak up at this time when this thing happened, we are demoralizing them. We are giving a green light to the few individuals who are trying to ruin the whole community. But when we're speaking up and encouraging them that you have to speak up and not you alone, we are with you. I think that is the important thing. Yeah. So number one, they have to know that this is an Southern Sudanese attitude or behavior. They have to know that. And that's why I said in the beginning, the personality or identity of the people of Southern Sudan is more expensive than gold or diamond. And we all know that. And the world know that. I think recently the United Nations acknowledged that, you know. Troika and IGAD and all this one, they recognize that the resiliency of the people of Southern Sudan. Because what is going on through in Southern Sudan I don't think any nation in the world can stand that. Let me just conclude it with one thing. When I just get to Canada, I got my first job in the hotel. And as a receptionist, and my way of communication, always I entertain people. And there was one man, it's like 65 years. He lived in the hotel for monthly basis. He came and he go up to his room and he saw me talking with people, smiling and all. One time he came and said, "William, may I ask you a question?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Tell me what make you to be happy." And then to me, it was like, what do you mean? But I said, what make me to be happy? And then he said, no, don't misunderstood me. You are from Sudan, right? And I say, yeah. Yeah, so the reason I'm asking, because what I'm seeing from Sudan is war, hunger, war, killing, and all this one. But for me, for somebody coming from that country, I'm thinking there should be no life left in you. Imagine. But when I'm seeing you smiling and talking, that make me surprised. So I said, that is very good. What I said was this. I said, what make me to be happy is because the creation is intact and is perfect. Every morning, the sun rise and the rain fall, and the ocean did not stop giving us life. But what you're seeing in Sudan is a man make, and it will be solved by the man. But when you see me unhappy one time, when the sun stop rising and the rain stop raining, that is the time you will see me unhappy. So imagine we are being viewed like we're supposed to be dead, but believe me, we're still alive. And that is the nature of the people of Southern Sudan we have to respect. Even though many Musta'marin, they come and they go, they come and they go, the people of Southern Sudan is still the same. So this is what we want to assure to our ladies, that you are the daughter of the Southern Sudan. And this, what happening in Southern Sudan is in Southern Sudan, and it have to be condemned, and it have to be defeated. Thank you. This is the way I can put it back.
Thank you so much. And I would like to go to Mabur. Welcome. What will be your word of solidarity tonight for our beautiful ladies, the South Sudanese ladies, the South Sudanese woman?
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Pearl. Uh, Actually, I will not go to my solidarity. I will go if I could be in power. What could I do? Actually, South Sudan is already been mentioned so many times here in the same day of this show today, that the constitution or the laws have no laws in the country. If I would be in power, I make sure that 50% to each and every members in the society who are alive that can put things together as a human. I have to make sure all 50-50 should conduct it laws that will guide in the country, because the abuses that I see it happened of absence of laws. Because if there's a laws, the laws should guide people. Either it will jail someone, or either it will fire someone, or either they could do what they call it petition that should firing someone. Because of no absence of laws, I could put their laws in the first place that guiding all the same sex. Let me put it that way. Excuse my language. So all of us should participate in the laws that will guide the country and that will give the rule of the country. So tomorrow, I, Mr. Wal came aboard, conducted any mistakes, I will be guided by that laws. That's the one thing. To stand with the solidarity of women, we already stand solidarity with them. What I will do is a encouragement for them that what they start today will not stop. We will continue. Make sure you come out. These non-nation networks, inbox or any individual of us, from those who speak out and those who are outside, you speak with them, contact them, and let's put things together that will guide in and stop this abusive that going on in our country. Not in the country that even here in the Western world. I have been seeing a lot of some stuff that is supposed not to be put online. Let me come back and mention a person name. I'm sorry to mention this person. If you, the person who was saying those things in that day, seeing someone within the society talk about those or doing those to your daughters, what do you will feel? That's my question to the person. What do you will feel yourself? If you talk those or you put those into action, if one of your relatives, girls, happen to be in that situation that you are doing, what do you think and what is your feeling? That's my question going to the person, and I know he's going to see that, or someone will share it for that person. I think you will be feeling bad, I believe. Come to this. Let's be realistic. We should call for resignation of the Secretary of the Office of President, because what come out of his mouth is what come out from the president. He's the president himself, because what come out in president mouth is what come out on his mouth. He have no difference with the president. I call for his resignation, or the South Sudanese should write up and write a petition against that person. That's my solidarity to the woman. Another thing, direct to a woman, as a woman, talking to you the woman, as a man who's sitting here and watching you, facing you now, as a man who always or always a father or a husband to a wife. Let be here. If someone try to abuse you, don't just make it the way I seen always online here, find a good way that people look for the people that can deal with it. And also too, you conduct yourself as a human. I'm not insulted you. I'm telling you the truth. You conducted yourself as a human that could not be abused. Be a mindful person. Use laws. If you are in Canada, use law. If you are in United States, use law. If you are in Europe, use law. Australia, use law. I know I cannot talk about Africa, but we can use laws of this conductive way that we are talking now. We can do a petition. It doesn't matter is your father abusing you. We can do that petition. Is your husband who, because I know South Sudanese have a problem. They say I could mention it in 2 to 3 languages. That's my white collar ox wife, or that's my third Emerial, Sheikh Third Emerial. That's my King Mordian Marial. You know, I can mention those. That's, it does not mean when you pay those that you will take advantage on a human. And you, the man, also too. I have a question for you. If you are productive, God gave you those gifts as a kid, and you get away with your mother killing her with an abuse. Because what I mean with an abuse, if you're beating her, if she got sick, you are the only person who will feel the pain too. And if you don't care, she gone, she died, you will still feeling the pain, because the another woman that you will bring, they are not going to be getting good with others code wife children. You will be feeling it inside you, although you will not admit it. It's better use a mechanism that should bring you into structure together. You want to marry another woman? I got no problem with that. But set her in her house with her kid and let her stay in her house if you feel don't like her anymore. So my solidarity is that let not accept an abuse, and let us stand together. For those who stand firm, for you women, stand behind them, and let not abusing each other. Respect others like I know others should respect you. And thank you. Back to you, Pat.
Thank you, Mabur. It was very lengthy solidarity there, but it's well taken. Pastor Chol, can you also join what will be the word for solidarity with our women, the South Sudanese women? Go ahead, unmute yourself.
Yes, I would say that a South Sudanese woman, should stop looking at herself shamefully. What do I mean by looking at herself shamefully? A woman thinks that she's less in value than a man. A man without a woman, when God saw him, God says it was not good. So for God to see a man perfectly and good, he had to create a woman. So a woman is a perfection of a man. So likewise, that a woman or like a man is a perfection of a woman. A man without a wife is not respected. Likewise, a man without a woman or a woman without a man is not respected. What does this mean? It means that these two are equally the same, equal in everything, provided that a woman should know that if there is a need for her or a need for a man in her life, the same way a man has a need for a woman in his life. So there's nothing makes her less than a man. Because when a woman look at herself less than a man, now she tries to force herself to a position of man in a wrong time. But if she accepts that she is perfect as a woman, as a person, in being a woman or in womanhood, then there she will also be powerful in her position of womanhood without any fear of being or being less than a man. Our problem in South Sudan is that when a woman feels that she's less than a man, then she tries to make herself to a position of man or to that position of man by doing things that she cannot do. She's not allowed to do. The same way when she also think that a man is better than her. This is the short answer and my word to a woman, that don't place yourself less than a man because you are a woman. And the same way, don't look at a man that is better than you because he's a man. There is no one is perfect without another. If you are a woman, you are a very big part of perfecting a man that you have at home. And the same way, you are a very important person in a society where you live. And you have to be valued exactly like a man is valued in the society of South Sudan. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I don't know. Before I close with this show, I would like to give 1 minute. If you have anything, all of you, if you have anything, one thing, like for 1 minute. We don't, when we talk too much, sometimes people get lost. But I because I don't want to close it, and then maybe you have something want to say, and you will say, "Oh, pal, hold on, let me say this." So I will give you your chance now. If you have one thing that you want to say before we close our show for tonight. Mabur, welcome. Do you have one thing that you want to say before we close our show that I didn't ask and we forget about it, but you remember it now? What it was? What will that be? Go ahead.
It will not be 1 minute, it will be 10 seconds. Is that
Even better.
you, the woman, do not stop, speak out. That's it. Speak out and come to Nation Network, and we'll open this.
Say it again. It was not clear. Say it again. I didn't hear it well.
I say it will not take 1 minute. It will be 10 seconds. Now it comes to 1 minute. You, the woman, what I need from you is speak out and come to Nile Nature Network, and we will resume this again. We will resume it another time. We have to speak out to make sure this thing must stop. And thank you.
Thank you so much. Pastor Chuol, what will be the last thing you want to say that maybe it's lingering in your mind, but we didn't ask you?
I think we have one thing we want to, as a society, we want to teach our society about a value of humanity to everyone. If we teach our ladies about their values, we teach our children their values, then now we have a good society, we have a good country, we have a good government. But the problem is the leadership anywhere of South Sudan is not the qualified for that place. If it is a community, you go in, we live in Australia, all the leaders of our communities who are the one who are not, I want to say, I'm sorry, I don't want to hurt somebody, but in Australia, we put to leadership of a community a person who has nothing else to do. And when we put a leader in a society or in a community who has nothing to offer, then now the whole community is not attended, is not valued, is not developed. And I think the same way goes to the most or every organization of South Sudanese, even including the government. We don't put the right person to the right place because the right person always thinks that it is a waste of time to come to the leadership of a society that is not understandable or understanding. So they step back thinking that now they are preserving their own personalities and their values. Then who comes? Comes a person who has nothing else to do. And now, because a blind person cannot lead a blind, they all go to the pit. That's why every community, including our families, they go to the pit, because even those who see, they now come to the point of blindfolding themselves and try to lead a family while they're blindfolded. The same with the government. So when we give the right people the right positions in the right time, our families, including our females, members of the society, community, and the government will go and rise and be developed the right way. Thank you.
Thank you. Brother William, do you have anything to say before we close our show?
Yeah, I just want to say we are with our sisters, our mother, our wives, and yeah. So again, we want to assure them and to assure ourselves that what is happening in Southern Sudan is un-Southern Sudanese. So it's just a behavior of the people who have a power, but they understood the meaning of the power or being in a public position. So to correct it, yes, We need a regulation in a place. We need uh, to condemn it as it happened, because that is human. You know, we have people who got disconnected with their natural spirit, and then they do wrong thing. But we have to say this is wrong, and this is what we have to do as the people of Southern Sudan. And yeah, we have to condemn it. And the most important is that uh, we encourage our sister, our wife, our daughters, that all those behavior. One thing I want to say is, as a Christian, Jesus told us that what goes into the mouth will not kill. Just listen to this carefully. What goes into the mouth will not kill, but what come out, it kills. So what is happening now in Southern Sudan? It did not come from the inside. It come from outside. Is a behavior of a bad people. Therefore, it will not affect us. It will not kill us. It will make us strong. As we are sitting here, we are looking for a way to defeat this behavior. And the most important, I want to say it also, is that we, with our sister, our wife, our daughter, we have to stand together to fight for the program that will empower. Because all what is happening now, there is no, we become idols, but we have to fight for the program to empower, to develop the ability and capacity of the young people, so they become a product, an asset to the countries. So let us be concerned about the solidarity, as Bell said it, and about thinking, planning, strategizing about a good program for our countries. And whenever this such behavior happen, we have to stand up and condemn it, because it is un Southern Sudanese. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother William. And as we are coming for closing of this show, this is what I want to say to our women today in regard to the program that we are doing here, which we title it Women Abuse in South Sudan. Of course, there is women abuse in South Sudan, and also even the South Sudanese also that are abroad. Also, we can see the cases of women abuse that it's happening there. But we want to show you the women that if we didn't start it before, but this will call it a start point, if we can say that, and we will be in solidarity with you, because really, in fact, there is no any a great person that there is no women behind it. And that say behind every great person or a great man, I deliberately say it person, because there could be also a lady that is a she is great, and also there will be behind her a lady. So even though they say behind every great man there is a lady, that is true. The woman, of course, and as I agree with the say that also say, if you educate a woman, you educate the whole nation. Because if you looked at it, it's that everything was mother tongue, mother this, mother that. And the mother, they are the backbone of all our societies. The mothers, or the women, they are the center, the core of our education, upbringing, nurture. It's everything. If there is no woman, the place that we live in is not going to be called home, because we call it home because there is a woman. Let me encourage you that you, the woman of South Sudan, please, please start speaking up, stand for yourself. And there will be a lot of wise people that will stand with you. And let us, this is the start point, and I would love to see you anywhere, anytime, or even in our show here at Nile Nation Network. Come and join us. We talk about a lot of topics, could be politics, economics, and also education. We may not be the expert that you are expecting, but we will bring you the topic that where somebody can come and share, really putting our heads together. That is where we're going to go. And of course, as you see, Not Nation Network, we are concerned members for our beloved country, which is South Sudan. Every topic we talk about it, it's connected to South Sudan. We want to see that country thrive, put into the map, and get to the place where the world is. In solidarity with the beautiful ladies and the mothers of South Sudan and the women of South Sudan, I will again share with you the song that was sang by CJ Oman, Junubia. I will share that with you, and I will love to say to all of you, good night, our dear viewers, and also those who came and joined us in the studio today. And I would like to thank our sisters, Apuk, Ayan, Eli, Nyamal, and also I will not forget our brothers here, Chol, Turbiliyat, and Mabor Welkong, and William Guldit, and me, Pal Red Shoal. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll love to see you again in a different topic. Thank you, and have a good night. And in terms of Chol, have a good day, and love to see you again. Thank you so much, and I will share the music.
CJ Woman. Junubia. Hey, Junubia. Nikopinia kisintokiafa. Nikopinia lontokiafa. Nikopinia say malaika. Nikuwe na taifa watatu. Binia Jamili Futukuro, Junubia. CJ Woman. Junubia. Hey, Junubia. Nikopinia kisintokiafa. Nikopinia lontokiafa. Nikupinia say malaika. Nikuwe na taifa watatu. Binia Jamili Futukuro, Junubia. 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 Hey, and I know Penny out me, baby. And I die when I don't and I know Penny out me, baby. And I die when I don't and I see no tiki Ghana to fake you. Ghana na ruwa ana bikin shunu. Ana gali kela ruwa seni. Ana yutani ana maliko. Binia Jamili Futukuro, Junubia. Junubia. That's what it is. That's what I'm talking about. Yulubia, Uluyo, Ilimka Ifogo, Shalama Finom, Anagipekiluo, Yulubia, Uluyo, Ilimka Ifogo, Shalama Finom, Anagipekiluo, Analifulifu Gifetisuo, Yulubia, Masarasta Ikulu, Analifulifu Gifetisuo, Yulubia, Masarasta Ikulu, Yulubia, 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 hey, hey. That's it. Yulubia. Oh. Kopinya kisinto kiafa, kopinya lonto kiafa, kopinya say malaika, kuwe na tai wataku, pinya kemili kutukuru, inobea,
Alomijana and Vivid Studio. Selector Isaka, Phantom, Best Production. What I need, you know, Beledi. And I believe you want to get Basai. Beledi, you know what I need. And I believe you want to get Basai. What I need, you know, Beledi. And I believe you want to get Basai. Beledi, you know what I need. And I believe you want to get Basai. Yelina dala modola tanina mama dola adunya kulumutele Yelina dala modola tanina yakwane dola alala kulumutele Nakuna wadi kulufogo kera albishibu bele kanyale Nabuna wadi kulufogo kera mama kera albishibu bele kanyale Kanina kobru dola de model bakwe dola de bikundo lalkogi Kanina kobru dola de model bakwe dola de bikundo lalkogi You know beledi and I believe in what you can basai beledi You know what I need and I believe in what you can basai What I need you know beledi and I believe in what you can basai beledi You know what I need and I believe in what you can basai Kanita gini kumbele take Nita bechaka togo bekulu gemba Obe amana Kanina karabudola jemi de makerata woma bikumpes. Kanina karabubele diafa de makerata woma bikumpes. Rabuna behasi bonina ya kwani kanina mafisu pelede. Rabuna behasi bonina mama kanina mai belede. Dia tabele de kanina, dulu sawa-sawa. Ya putu bala kanina mama, sandola de perabote. Juno beledi, anabili kumatu den batai. Beledi, juno kuatani, anabili kumatu den batai. Watani, juno beledi. Anabiribu matugel batai beledi juno watani Anabiribu matugel batai Kerata dola de ketile nina kakesi musawa sawa bitimu Kerata bele de kifale nina kakesi musawa sawa bitimu Mata geni zulu mapana dola de kanina sawa Mata zulu mapana dola de kanina sawa Eliba kebirde tasunute Bekarabu daula tanena Elba kamade kasuno Isiku bele kabiraba Wadane juno beledi Anabeli kumakugel batai Beledi juno watane Anabeli kumakugel batai Wadane juno beledi Anabeli kumakugel batai Beledi juno watane Anabeli kumakugel batai